Welcome everyone to House of HuCards episode 6. It's been a while, but we got it together. We're doing an episode again, and we're going to talk today about Castlevania Rondo of Blood, aka Dracula X. We're getting into, I'm not sure what the real title is. I guess the Japanese title would be the official one. But in any case...
Chino Rondo.
Yeah, I just call it Rondo of Blood. I think that works. But in any case, we're going to talk about a lot of good stuff today. I'm very interested to see what everybody's thoughts are on the various topics that I have planned here. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see. First, I want to introduce everybody because it's been a while since we've had a show up. It's been a while since we're recording, so by the time this actually goes live, it's going to be even more of a while. So, of course, I'm Johnny Grafx, and I'm here, of course, with Sarumaru, who, of course, runs his show, maker of FX Unit Yuki, creator of the new game Nyanja, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And, of course, I'm here with the Mad Belmont, a guy that hasn't been on the show yet, but given the topic at hand, I felt like I just had to bring him on. I don't know if anyone watching this has seen his channel. You definitely need to check out his channel. It is a Castlevania and Metroidvania in general kind of focused channel. Of course, you talk about other stuff too, but it's a neat sort of focus you have there. And I don't think you're alone in that topic, but you definitely do it in your way. Like there's no one that does it quite like you. So if you're into those games, definitely check out Mad Belmont. We'll get into that here in a minute. But I'm also joined by someone you might recognize from episode 5. Breakman X, how are you today?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's cold, which, by the way, apologies ahead of time. You're going to hear my heater go off from time to time, and it's just going to be like this hum that's just going to come and go. So, only so much I can do about it. I'll try to take it out in post. But
how dare you be warm?
I know. I'm very ornery in that way. I just be warm when I want to be. So yeah, let's go around and just see, let's check in with everybody. Matt, let's start with you. I know you've been doing your show. You've had a dozen or so episodes since the last time you were on here. So how have you been? What have you been playing? Tell me a little bit about what you've been up to. Any progress on the movie, maybe?
Sure. Yeah. So I'll start with the movie. The movie, I can't talk a whole lot about it, but I have a pretty exciting meeting with a streaming service in a couple weeks.
Cool.
Trying to secure some of that stuff. So hoping to have more to talk about with that in the relatively near future. With the show, been going along, having lots of fun guests throughout the week and covering a lot of fun topics. So breakmanx.com or breakmanx on YouTube, either way, gets the same stuff. So that's been going along great. But been playing a lot of various things. I've been into N64 lately with the Analog 3D came out, which I don't have, but just the glut of videos on N64 stuff has made me kind of dive back into N64 a little bit. It was never my favorite console, but
same.
Yeah, I always felt like it was a soupy, blurry kind of mess, but going back into that and
he's not wrong.
Tried to remove some of that blur has been fun. And I also have been messing with Linux a lot. The whole Windows thing with 10 ending service irritated me. So
yes,
I've been using Linux probably about 90% of the time the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow. So you're just not even going to do 11?
I did upgrade to 11, and the other week before the show, it was like, you need to activate. And it's been activated for a bit. I didn't even plug in like a USB stick. And it was like, you've changed your hardware. I went through the whole troubleshooting thing. It was a whole irritating mess to get it working again. And that was for me like, okay, screw this. And I have not found a single game that I can't play on it, on Steam and everything. And I get about 5 to 7% better frame rate.
Okay.
Nice.
Completely unexpected.
Enough
I did
to
not
be
expect
noticeable.
that. Yeah.
I mean, the Steam Deck's
It's
pretty much Linux based, right?
Yeah. But it's come a
The
long
back
way. I tried years and years ago, and it just wasn't there yet. But save for just a couple things, I mean, it's pretty good now. I'm on Endeavor OS. Apos Vox recommended it on one of his shows.
I've been tinkering around with the idea of going with Linux as well because apparently Windows 11 is just so freaking bloated. Like,
It's terrible.
I have a friend that was telling me about it. Like, they were actually just doing tests with nothing running, just Windows 11 on their computer. And it was taking up like 6 gigs of RAM, just idle, just like sitting there.
There's so many processes, and you're like, what are all these processes?
It's probably like telemetry and stuff, right? I imagine.
Takes screenshots of your desktop without telling you to, for AI to use.
Oh.
You'll be just give it a shot. Do a dual boot or something. Make sure you don't miss anything you really need. But I think you'll be surprised how fast it is. It's like significantly for me anyway. Significantly faster.
In any case, Maru, how are you, my friend?
Yes, sir. Good. Busy, super busy. Still working on our game. Actually, it's not quite out yet, but we're like right at the finish line. What we did do was the Kickstarter. Kickstarter was successful, but right now we're just getting everything patched up. We added, because we hit a certain goal, we added like a new game mode as well. So like there's like a whole go through of the game, but with 2 other characters that are characters that I have in a PC game that I'm working on. They just kind of have like their own like playthrough with it. So I'm kind of like swapping, like once you beat it on normal, you can play it on hard with these characters. So I've been working on that, and other than that, it's just been nonstop working on the game. I work at a friend's shop when I'm not working on the game, and other than that, it's just streaming every week.
Yeah, you put out something with the game. Was that just a demo, I guess?
Yeah, we put out the demo.
Okay.
Hopefully, I was reached out by someone who's putting out a certain device that is interested in having the demo be on their device when they launch it, but I can't really say specifically what device, but that is a thing that hopefully happens.
Yeah.
We made like a special demo for this device too, so I'm hoping that that's a thing, because that'll be pretty good exposure too.
It would. How does a deal like that work? Is it like, are they benefiting from you? Are you benefiting from them? Is it just like a mutual exchange?
I think it's a mutual benefit kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like they get more content, to pack in with their console, and we get a whole new set of eyes that's going to check out, a few stages of our game and potentially buy the game as well. So hopefully that gets some buzz. I got some people to voice act a few lines as well. A couple YouTubers like John Riggs does a voice. Adam Koralik does a voice. Riggs' wife does a voice. Just a bunch of people who chipped in to do voices. So I'm hoping that they get the word around as well. I know John Riggs has shared. And then I got a guy named Teddy Scott who's doing the voice of Nyanmaru, the hero, and he shared it a bunch too, which is amazing. So hopefully that all goes well.
Well, let me know if you need another voice. I would probably do it for free at this point, because I'm trying to get an acting reel together. I have a good non-fiction narration reel together. That's fine, but it's hard to break into acting. You need to have a reel to get gigs. And
that narration voice you got down. I'm kind of curious as to what else you could do. What your range is like.
I could do. I don't know. I can send you some stuff. We'll figure it out. But
cool. Yeah, that would be awesome.
When is your official launch date? Like, do you have a date?
Well, we're hoping first quarter of the year. We're pretty much closing off everything mid-December, so that we can start preparing for like manufacturing. And then in January, we're hoping to get it all sent out to get manufactured. We have some stuff, like a bunch of like Kickstarter goodies. We did like trading cards and bookmarks and buttons and stuff. So we got a bunch of that stuff in. The only things we got to do is send the games to print. And other than that, we're pretty much done. We just got to close off some stuff with the actual game. Like there's a couple cutscenes at the end that are missing. That's like literally it. We've got some cutscenes that are missing towards the end of the game, and we're done.
Are you animating those, or are you just like designing the characters and somebody else is animating?
So I do all the pixel art in the game. Like I do like all the character pixels, and I do the backgrounds. I do everything. The cutscenes are pretty much just like still scenes, right? And then like there is some like voice that happens, but only when every boss battle happens, right? So like the first boss is voiced by John Riggs. So when you get to that boss, he does like a little line that he does. And then when you play through with the secondary characters, all the bosses do a different line for those characters. But yeah, it's just pixel-based cutscenes for the game.
That's awesome. That'll be so fun to get to the first boss and hear that it's John Riggs being, doing something goofy, or I'm not sure what his character is.
It tickles my heart.
Is it like
he's like an
imposing?
So I don't know if you know. So John Riggs is kind of like a theater kid, right? Like he grew up doing theater and stuff. He's in radio, and so I thought it'd be perfect to give the Kabuki character the voice of John Riggs, because he's like Kabuki is Japanese theater, right? Like people dress up in these like elaborate headdresses and the kimono and the fans, and they do this whole thing. So he kind of gave him like a Shakespearean kind of thing, as the English equivalent of a theater kid for the character.
Okay.
So yeah, should be cool.
Almost like a transatlantic, like a Frasier kind of delivery, maybe.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
A little bit, but with his own ring on it.
Cool. That sounds exactly perfect. That's exactly what I want from him. So good. All right. What have you been playing lately? Have you had any time in between all these ventures to actually like relax and play any games?
Well, as you know, I do streaming, so I'll play games whenever I can on Twitch. So every Friday I still do PC Engine Fridays. I wanted to play some Castlevania last Friday, and I completely forgot about it because, I ended up playing some other. I know it's on the docket. Maybe next week I'll play some Dracula X. But yeah, other than that, I play a lot of PC Engine on Fridays, and then I play Sega stuff on Monday. So later on today, we're gonna do our Sega stream, and then throughout the week we'll do random stuff. Like my partner Jesse, he's playing through Symphony of the Night right now, and he was actually going to start the Saturn one, but we couldn't get the new patch to work because we were playing on the Polymega. It kept crashing, so I was like, you know what, just play the original. I feel like you'll get the best experience if you just start off with the original. He had played through Aria of Sorrow, which is one of my favorite ones, and I was like, man, if you liked this game, you gotta go back to Symphony of the Night. It's the Igavania that started it all. But anyway, I'm like straying into Castlevania, so let's move on to the rest of our introductions. I can come back and talk about that once we get the show started.
Okay, sure. So Mad Belmont, tell me a little bit about what you've been up to, what you've been playing, how you've been lately.
Well, I've not only been doing stuff for my channel, live streams, shorts, but I've also been doing stuff for a group that I'm a part of, Up Down Select. I don't know if either one of you all have heard of them.
I meant to mention that in your introduction. I'm sorry. Yeah, Up Down Select. Yeah.
Yeah, so I am 1/7 of Up Down Select. We are a group of YouTubers that have come together to put all of our talents into a group channel outside of our solo channels, and I'm having a blast with it, getting to know all these dudes, some of which I know from previous groups I've been a part of, and a few new ones. So it's fun. It's fun. I've been creating content for that. I've been creating content for my channel. As I was just talking before we started this up, I actually have a video in the works. I've been playing Symphony of the Night, actually, Saru. I've been playing that on stream. I have 2 episodes up of that. Tomorrow is going to be episode number 3 of that, so I'm looking forward to that. And other than that, I've been playing off stream Astrobot. Loving that.
Nice choice.
So cute.
I am absolutely in love with that game. That is just, it's one of the best platforms I've played in the past 5 to 10 years.
It's a good one. It's a really good one.
And also in my rotation is Wolfenstein: The New Order, which I actually have right here.
Nice.
In a little double pack. So yeah, been just kind of making the rounds in terms of gaming.
I like the versatility I'm seeing. I like that. The have you played the they did an expansion to that one with
Old Blood right here?
Well, yeah, they did that, but there was another one where it was BJ Blazkowicz's daughters, and it takes place like 20 or 30 years in the future from that period.
Young Blood.
Yeah.
Young Blood. I have not played that one yet.
I hear like people say that one's really bad. It looks fun as hell to me. I can't wait to play it. I actually own it. It's just, it's in my backlog, but
Okay, so what I've heard about it, I've heard mixed things. If you try to play it solo, that's where it sucks.
Hmm.
But if you play it in co-op, you can have a ton of fun. So if you find someone to play it with, I think you'll have a good time with it.
Yeah. Co-op can bring any game up at least a couple notches, I've found for sure.
Yep, especially when that game is Resident Evil 6.
Oh yeah, that's a game that actually would probably be way more fun with co-op. Yeah, I haven't tried that. I just remember I played that game for 20 minutes and I took a step back and I was like, wait a minute. I'm playing Leon Kennedy. I'm shooting a bazooka at like some kaiju monster in the back of some truck or something. What the hell am I doing? This is not Resident Evil, and I got the hell out of there.
Oh, it is an awful game, but it is dumb fun in co-op. Whenever, like, I play it with a bunch of my friends all the time, and we sit there and we try to see who can do the most wrestling moves on enemies, and we're sitting there trying to troll each other, try and steal kills from each other.
Yeah.
It's fun whenever you have it in co-op, for
Okay.
sure.
That's a way to save it, perhaps. I can see that. I kind of ended up liking 5 by the end of it, even though it started off kind of like, I don't know about this, but by the end of it, I was kind of into that one, as much of a departure as that one is as well. You can only look at Chris Redfield's forearm for so long before it's like, okay, we got to do something.
Especially as he's punching that boulder,
It's just punching bolt. Like, this is not, I don't know, maybe it's like a millennial thing. I think younger people don't care. Like, if you're in like 25, you don't have that feeling about Resident Evil. Like, you're just ready for whatever they want to put out. And I kind of envy that perspective in a way.
I do too. I do.
Yeah.
Because I saw where the franchise was. That's how I got into horror games, was through Resident Evil. And so seeing it become what it did with 5 and 6, I'm like, oh my God, I'm glad they bounced back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 7 is
7
actually,
and 8.
7 and 8. I love 7 and 8 a lot.
Yes, I do too.
7 is up there with the first one. It's one of the better ones. Like, I would put it in the top 3 of the whole series for sure.
Okay.
I love 7. And 8, I almost love just as much. 8's great. I'm excited for 9. We'll see what they do. I guess it's going to be something a little different again.
I am too.
Yeah.
A lot of exciting stuff with that one.
Yeah. So, since we're on you, tell me a little bit more about, your association with Castlevania, and like, obviously you love it. You love Metroidvanias. That's like an area you're really passionate about. But what inspired you to kind of like make a channel around that exact niche?
Okay, so I've been into Castlevania since I was 4 years old.
Mhm.
And I remember renting it at my local rental store, Movies to Go. Fell in love with it immediately. I just loved the look of it, the music, the action in it, everything about it just said, this is a game for you. And I played every single one of them since then. And the reason why I decided to make a channel was around Castlevania and Metroidvanias was because I'm passionate about those two things. I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it about something that I'm passionate about, like
Mhm.
wholeheartedly. And why not make it Castlevania and Metroidvanias? Because that's what I talk about for the most part. So I figured there's a wealth of stuff to do on that. And I've had a fun time in the nearly 3 years since I started up my channel.
It's only been 3 years since you started?
Yeah.
Wow.
It'll be 3 years this coming month, December 11th. We'll make
Cool.
3 years.
Nice. Well, you've had some pretty decent growth considering, how hard it is to grow anything nowadays in an organic way. And
Yeah. I'm blessed. I'm
Yeah.
blessed to have the growth that I have.
Yeah.
A lot of it is due to some of my friends that I've met in Up Down Select, in all the other groups that I've been in with them before.
Mhm.
And they've really helped me just get to where I am right now. So I wouldn't be here without guys like Rad Bash or Ken or
Yeah.
Sai,
There's a
those
whole-
guys.
I love that web
Uh-huh.
of people. Like, I love that, like the Rab Bash and all those guys that I think I found out about them when it was Super Retro Force.
Yep, that's I was a part of that.
Yeah, and I think I guess that's probably where I found out about you, and that was a thing for a while, and then that went away, and then Radbash himself quit, and then Up Down Select started with Ken, I think, and he got like Radbash roped into it, and they all like convinced each other to kind of like start more or less the same kind of idea as Super Retro Force, but like with a different look and a different style. And then Up Down Select went away, and now Up Down Select is back. is that the correct lineage?
Yeah, and yeah. So
Okay.
I actually joined Up Down Select the first time before it went away. I think it was like a week or two before it went away. I joined, and that was a little disheartening because I'm just like, I just got here,
Yeah.
and now it went away. And when Rad even suggested it was coming back, I was just like, dude, if it is coming back, you got me. I need redemption
Give
for
me a
what
chance.
happened the first time.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So you've got it now, so for sure. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing like where you guys go with that. If you guys really give that like a good chunk of time and you're consistent with it, I see no reason why you guys will, blow up. Like that shit's fun to watch. I watch them all. I watch all of them.
We thank you for that, man.
Yeah.
We do.
I don't always comment or engage, but I always watch them because a lot of times I'm like in my car, like driving somewhere, or like laying down and going to sleep. That's when I do most of my YouTube watching. I don't even watch half of it because I'm like falling asleep and I'll set the phone down and just listen sometimes. So I know I'm missing some of the experience by doing that, but that is how I consume like half of my YouTube probably like that way. So anyway, yeah, glad to have you here, man. So I'll talk a little bit about what I've been playing. I've been on a little bit of a journey with my like media consumption life lately, because this actually started a while back, but since we haven't been together for so long, I guess I can sort of go back a little bit. I started watching. Well, first of all, the thing that really kicked all this off was I saw that there was a new Mafia game coming out, Mafia: The Old Country, and I love the Mafia
Yes.
games. I think we actually talked about this briefly, Mad Belmont. I think we had an exchange at one point.
Yeah. Actually, I do have that
Okay, yeah, there you
right
go.
here.
And so when I heard that was coming, I was like, okay, I'm in Mafia mode now. So I started The Sopranos all the way at the beginning
Oh,
and watched it all the way to the end. It took me at least like, a month and a half, maybe 2 months of really consistent watching. There's a ton of episodes. And-
yeah. 7 seasons.
And the seasons are like 20 episodes. Like they're big, they're not like this 6 episode a season crap you're seeing now. Like these were like, each season is like just a massive commitment. And I hadn't watched it all since I was probably, I don't know, in my early 20s. And at that point, like I'm watching it in an entirely different light, an entirely different perspective. So now that I'm, in my late 30s, I can really, and I've just, had more life experience and I know more about stuff. I can really appreciate it much more. And wow, that is a special show. Like I totally get the hype.
Oh yeah.
You can see the seeds of some of that gold standard television that would come after, like, even like Breaking Bad and even The Walking Dead and stuff like that would come after, like this really good grounded drama TV that we would get. You see the seeds of that in The Sopranos, I think. And it's just so good. I really loved it. So that accelerated my
for sure.
Mafia mode. Yeah. And so after that, I watched The Godfather, of course, totally different tone and style. But
Banger movie.
yeah, excellent. Truly excellent. I was going to watch all 3 Godfathers, but I watched the first one and then I moved on. I wanted to get like a different flavor of Mafia stuff, so I went to Scarface. And
Okay, another one.
yeah, and so I haven't seen that one since I was like a teenager, and so I'm completely watching it from a different perspective, and holy crap, that is such a violent, grimy, I forgot like how, like, what do you even call that? Like a grindhouse almost type of movie. Like I didn't think it was like that. I forgot it was like that, but truly excellent. So I had a blast with that. And then Mafia: The Old Country finally comes out. I get it. I play like 4 hours of it, and I've lost interest. I'll be honest with you. I've completely lost interest, and it didn't hold me. I'll probably wrap it up at some point because it's not a game that, I'm like stuck on or anything. I just kind of drifted away from it. lot of super linear stealth sections, some cover
Yeah,
shooting,
yeah.
and then a knife fight, and then a cutscene, and it just kind of sort of just repeats that loop. And it's, I don't know, it's okay, but the previous 3 Mafia games I think are much better. So I don't know. Some people may disagree with me on that. I know the game is still new, people are still digesting it, but I don't know. I should finish it before I have like a final thought, but I'm a little underwhelmed so far.
I think personally it's better than 3 because
Okay.
3 had a lot of problems with it. Mainly in the gameplay loop. It was a lot of repetitiveness, a lot of the same mission structure
Right.
over and over. And you had to get through that repetitiveness to get to the fantastic story that
Yeah.
it had. So it's nice to have a more linear game like this. I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed it enough to get the platinum trophy for that game.
Oh, really?
Like,
Okay.
I love it.
Cool.
So
So does it get as like the story's okay at the beginning, but does it get more interesting as it goes along? Because I feel like it's a
slow burn. It's a slow burn. It
Yeah.
definitely ramps up as you get more into it. Because a lot of people tell me it's the same thing with Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm struggling to get through that game because of that slow opening.
Mhm.
And they say that once you get through that, it will just it grips you, vice grips you.
Mhm.
And that's the same thing that I can say with Mafia the Old Country.
Really?
If you can get to the point to where you actually start getting into the mafioso stuff, that right there is when you're gonna get grabbed. And it will not let you go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm definitely not gonna like uninstall it. Like I'm ready to go back to it whenever I'm done with stuff I'm just a little more excited about, like the new Katamari game. I'm just enjoying that a little bit too much to put it down. New Space Marine 2 content just came out. I was playing that earlier. There's a bunch of stuff that came out. God. I bought this game the other day. By Sweet Carol. It's like it has like the sort of like Disney style artwork, almost like that one game that was like a Laserdisc game almost. And I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but it looks really interesting. It's from the same creator that did Remothered Tormented Fathers, which Rad Bash probably knows about it. Kind of an obscure horror game. And so I'm going to get to that, and also found Darius Burst EX on a physical copy at my local GameStop for $20.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
And if you look at that on any digital storefront, it almost never goes on sale. It's always like $30 or $40. And it's like, I'm sure it's worth it, but I just never pulled the trigger on it because of that.
It's a great game.
Yeah, it looks great. And I like Darius games. So I went ahead and grabbed it, $20. So that I'll probably get to that as well before, Mafia the Old Country. But I'll find myself drifting back to it, I'm sure. And I also got Ease 10, Saru. I'm sure you're happy to hear.
Oh, nice.
I've decided I think I'm moving on from Ease 9. I'm not gonna go back. I got
it's hard to. I haven't beat it either, and I'm a huge East fan.
Right.
I feel like the pacing is just super slow, and
it's slow.
whole
the
environment's like the same all the time.
Yeah, even for an
Seems
Ease
to
game,
be
I
the
feel like it's a
consensus.
little too. I expect a little bit of sort of repetition with those games, but even for an Ease game, I think 9 is just a bit too on the repetitive side. And there's
Glad to know I ain't the only one that ain't finished 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I respect it. It's fine, but I think there's just too much other stuff to do and too much other stuff to play. And 10 looks so much more interesting and fun with the ship
No,
battles.
10 is so good. Yeah, 10 is so good. I didn't think I was gonna like those ship battles actually, and then ended up like maxing out like all of my ship stats and just going around the water trying to just blow up other ships out of the water, and it ended up being a mechanic in the game that ended up being way more fun than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, well, it makes the ship combat very arcadey and almost silly. Like it's fast and frantic. Where of course boats aren't like that, but it makes it makes it fun, is what it seems like. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool game. You'll have fun.
Okay, that's the plan. So I'm just gonna, because even like you said, like linear, like story wise, it doesn't. I'm not missing anything by not finishing 9, because 9's all the way at the end, basically.
Yeah,
and 10 is back.
You could always come back to it at the very end once you play through every single East game, and you're like, "All right, well, play through this."
Now I'll drag myself through not the second half of 9.
8 is
so
what
good.
like,
and then 9 like took a major detour.
Did you finish 8?
Dude,
Hmm?
8 is what I feel like brought so many new East fans to the series too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so.
It's sort of the
Myself
beginning.
included.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, is that what you
Oh.
started on? East 8.
Yeah, that
Nice.
was my first East game. I had someone that before I even started doing YouTube, I was editing for him, and he got me the game. He said, "You are going to play this, and I'm telling you, you're gonna get hooked on it." And so I started streaming it. Then I got so hooked on it that I said, I can't wait a week to stream this. Like I gotta play this." So
Mm-hmm.
I stopped streaming it and I blew through that game. I absolutely love that game. 9, I think it's better from a gameplay standpoint, but I do see where you all are coming from whenever you say, oh, it's very repetitive in the locations, they don't change a
Yeah.
whole lot. Yeah, I get that. But I still enjoy 9. It's just that I got distracted by other games and I just didn't finish it. Otherwise, I would have.
Yep, that's exactly the boat I'm in. That's exactly like I don't have anything really against 9. It's just there's so much other stuff to do that is so objectively more interesting to me at this point. So
Yeah.
it just kind of
And
has
playing
to.
10,
You think 10's
playing 10 goes back like because 10 takes place after East Book 1 and 2.
Right.
So
Yeah,
if you're a big fan of East Book 1 and 2, it's directly after those events.
Mad Belmont, did you go back and play some of the older ones?
I have not yet, but I do have a bunch of them. I have Origins. I have
Okay.
Memories of Celceta.
Oh, that's
I
the one I
have
was going to tell you to
and
play.
Yeah, I have 1 and 2 Chronicles on PC. I have what's the one? Oath and Felgana, Ark of
Okay.
Histum.
Yeah, you're
So,
set. Those are the
have a
ones I was
few.
going to tell you to play. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All great games.
Yeah, and if you
But
end up
9 you can skip, 5 you can skip.
yeah,
Oh, I've been told plenty of times. Yeah, just skip 5. Play everything but 5. Wait until
Yeah.
they remake that game. Which Falcom, get on that, please.
yep. And yeah, that's like one of the few. I guess I'd like to see a remake of 1 and 2, in the style of 9 and 10. Like that would be cool.
I would.
How cool
That'd
would
be
that
cool.
be? That would be
I wouldn't
rad.
mind that.
It's
I wouldn't
time.
mind that.
It's time to do it. Hopefully that's on the docket for them because those really need it. As I know a lot of people like them in their current form, but if you re-release those with that story with the modern gameplay, that would be perfect. That'd be great.
Oh,
The PC Engine version's still
Absolutely.
my favorite of those two.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
right.
I'm with you on that. You can't beat the soundtrack. Just
Mm-mm.
amazing.
Imagine
Yeah.
if they like took a modern look at that soundtrack though, redid the songs with like more modern instrumentation, and then upgraded the graphics and combat to be like 9 or 10. Imagine that though. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. Get Yuzo Koshiro to do it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Apparently
Yeah,
he's
use
still
it to
he's
do
still
it.
working. I got Eartheon too, by the
Yep.
way. I got that game. I need to play that.
Oh, it's so I love Eartheon.
Do you? Okay,
That
good.
game is awesome.
It's great.
Yeah, I mean, I
I was
know that's exactly like right up our alley. So I figured,
Oh yeah. No, you'll love it.
100%.
I blew through that, and it's fun to go back and play it like again. It's like an awesome game that came out during the height of the 16-bit era. Like it feels
right,
super high quality.
like a 1993 Sega Genesis game, kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
a little bit like there's some graphical effects that they do in it that will play on original console. I actually played it on a Mega Drive. Like it will play on it, but it looks beyond what could have been achieved at that time.
Did they actually put
Yeah.
out a Mega Drive cart?
There are
Well,
ways
they
of
put out the ROM.
Okay,
Inadvertently.
inadvertently.
I bought the game on Steam, and then you can potentially get that ROM that you purchased, and it will play on a
Yeah.
Sega Genesis.
Okay, cool.
But I did
Yeah, you
purchase
can
it. I want to make
the
that clear.
ROM.
I did buy it. I want to
Okay, yeah.
support Yuzo.
Same. Yep.
Yeah, and not just him, but really everybody involved in that because that's such a cool project. I've been following that for what feels like forever, and
Yep.
it just seems like a really genuinely approached, just fantastic project. So I'm glad that that's
For
It's
sure.
so good. It was a day one purchase for me. As soon as
Yep.
the physical Genesis game comes out, I'm gonna get that.
yeah.
Same.
Is that going to come through limited run? You think?
I think it is.
Probably.
Okay,
Yeah.
not a
Maybe
huge fan of
Super
them, but
Deluxe in Japan.
yeah. Well, I'll go ahead and do it. I still buy from Limited Run. Not a huge fan of how they do business, but
I'm not either. Unless they release something I absolutely can't get somewhere else, like the Cosmic Fantasy Collection.
Mhm.
Nobody made physicals of that, so that ended up being my last like LRG purchase. But
yeah.
I try not to, just because I'm not a big fan either.
Yeah, and the more I learn about that guy that runs Limited Run, like not trying to, shots fired or anything, but just saying like that guy seems like a jerk, like a massive jerk,
Mhm.
and rather not give him my money if I can avoid it. But I can't really
That
avoid
whole like burn CD thing was weird too with the 3DO.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
that
think
was it for
was,
me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what did it for me, was that whole thing with the 3DO D game, and then trying to justify their reasoning for doing it that way.
right.
That's when I was like, all right, this company is shitty. You
I mean,
know?
Imagine thinking that 3DO fans wouldn't notice that.
Right?
You know,
Like
like these are
that was the
people that
kicker
are
too. It was insulting.
right. Like
Well, didn't it also had issues on 3D real 3DOs, didn't it?
It
Wasn't
did,
that
yeah. It would not
the
play
big-
because
Yeah.
legacy hardware shits the bed when you try to like run CDRs on them. You know,
Yeah.
they have to be burned on very certain media,
Right.
like Taiyo Yuden or CMC or
Yep.
whatever, and it has to be burned at this very absolute slowest speed possible. Neither of which that they did. Who they used like these like cheap run of the mill verbatims that were like super green, so there was no doubt that they were CDRs, and they probably burned them at like the max speed to
Right.
optimize time. A lot of people try to put them in their 3DOs, and the 3DOs were like, like, what do I do with this?
Right.
So
Well,
I
to
burned it
me,
at like
what-
64x.
what's really
Yeah.
shocking about that though is like how did you not test it and know it wouldn't play in real hardware?
Right.
Like that's like the whole point, right?
Where's the
I mean, they
quality
might
control?
have tested it, on like a brand new like FZ10 or something, right? That they had,
Oh, that's true.
in the office that's never been touched, probably, because
Never
you
been
can still
kissed.
find new FZ10, never been kissed. You can still find new FZ10s, and like they'll probably run it. But
Like if you can't get, like, imagine Ian, like the our friend Ian over at Historic Nerd. That's the person, that type of guy. That's who you're selling that game to.
right,
He's gonna know. He's gonna know when you do anything like
Mhm.
that. Like if you can't get it by Ian, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
You can't, like, we're all like in our 40s. Like, we're not idiot like teenagers. Like, we're gonna know if
Yeah.
we try to cheap out on something.
right. And we all have our old shit, right? Like we're gonna test it. We're
Yeah.
gonna play it. One of us is. One of the thousands who bought it is gonna test it. Like,
Right.
I don't know what they were
Yeah.
thinking. That's the insulting part about it too.
Exactly.
It's
Like, do they not think we're gonna notice? And do they not have enough money to do it right at this point? They've been around. They've been at the top of the food chain of this niche market. Granted, it is a niche market, but they've been at the top of the food chain of it for a long time. Do they not have enough money to invest in the proper procedures at this point? I think they do.
dude, they pressed the
You would
audio
think they
CD
did.
for it.
Right.
They pressed the music CD that came with it,
So
but they
why-
didn't press
But
the game because the game was
Oh,
3
man.
discs, and that probably
I-
would have run them a lot more than they wanted to spend.
Mm. That's it. I bet you that's exactly it.
did they ever have like what was the reasoning for it?
Oh God, who knows? Probably some.
They had stated that at the time that it sounded like a good idea because they
were
had
drunk.
tested it. They were drunk. But then people found, proof saying that, collectors don't open their games and all this other stuff. And that's what people were like, hey, that's pretty shitty.
I think I heard about
They're not
that.
gonna
Oh,
play
so
it
we
anyway.
don't, huh? Well, then what are all these games over here on my shelf doing?
Yeah.
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 It's just shelf candy. I don't touch any of this shit either. That's
Yeah.
all it
I know
always
that
says.
I know that that's a stereotype, but I don't. Every collector that I know, including myself, actually play the games.
Yeah.
And I know
Dude,
that there's folks that don't, but like everyone that I know actually plays.
I do. I emulate and I do other stuff too, but I play
Yeah.
the games. I do play the games. I mean, you don't spend $120 on a copy of Dead Moon and not play it.
And just
Right.
stare at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I stare at it
You're gonna play
also,
it.
but yes,
That's half the
but
fun.
not just.
there is something to be said for playing that game on a console, on your TV, and not just emulating it on
Yeah.
a laptop or something. Although both,
Right.
obviously both have their place. I'm not picking
by
sides.
any means necessary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. I emulate for longevity's sake, but when I'm really in the mood for the real experience, I play the game.
It just hits different,
It
It's a different
does.
vibe.
It
For
really
a long
does.
time, I was like, oh, it's the same. I mean, this was quite a while ago, but it's
Yep.
not. It's really not as much as because I put all my games in storage when I moved to Los Angeles because I didn't have that much room, and I was just like, I'll just emulate everything, and it just wasn't the same. It was not as fun for me to just play them emulated, and I'm totally supportive of emulation. Don't think like anyone watching this that I'm judging you or whatever. It's some people that's totally awesome, and I'm just glad you're playing the games. But for me, it was not the same thing.
Yeah, it's not. Especially when the thing for me is like the controller. Like the controller matters. And I know you can get like, if I really wanted to, I could probably find like a turbo pad with a USB. I mean, you get that Hori controller from the Mini and plug that into something, and that'll probably work 90% of the time. But even that, it's not the same thing as an original turbo pad. That feels a little different.
Mm-hmm.
And
the turbo timing is different on emulation too.
Yeah,
that's what I was getting. Yeah, there's something about the controller that is different because I remember reading about the Mister stuff, and you have to have a different Mister Snack adapter thing for the PC Engine because of the way that the turbo controller works. So that got me thinking, like, wow, well, there is something pretty unique about that.
Yeah, the polling rate.
Yeah, it's got very specific. Yep.
Right, and the only controller that I've done on third-party controller that gets close enough to the right polling rate that I'm fine with it is that Polymega one of all of them. That's the one. That one gets pretty much it. Like I can play Bloody Wolf and hit the those bullets on that basic gun. It's pretty much perfect. It might not be exactly, but it's close enough to me. And if it's close enough for me, it's probably close enough for most people. But yeah, most of them don't. Most of them don't get it. So there's little nuances. Okay, well,
I love the Hori 6 Fighting Commander for the PC Engine.
Oh,
I got one of those several years ago, and I love that. That's my favorite. It's hard for me to use any other PC Engine controller now.
Yeah,
I use that if I'm going to play fighting games. I'll always use the Hori Fighting Commander, and like a lot of like hardcore fans are like, "That's blasphemy! You should be using the Avenue 6 pad." Blah blah blah. But I'm like, I don't know. I think maybe from years of playing Street Fighter 2 on like the Super Nintendo and fighting games on the Super Famicom, that when I got the Hori Fighting adapter, or I'm sorry, Fighting Commander, it just felt more natural.
It's the D-pad.
Fighting games. It's
for me, it's I like the D-pad on that the best. I'm pretty picky about D-pads, unfortunately.
I am too. I'm inconsistent though with my standards because like the PlayStation D-pad is totally different than the type on the PC Engine controller. Yet those are like my two favorite types.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know why. I don't know. I think it just has to do with maybe.
Yeah, if I'm playing normal games, I'll stick with the regular PC Engine controller. But if I'm playing a fighting game, I like to use the Fighting Commander.
The PlayStation D-pad will always remind me of Jump Jump Slide Slide from Mega Man 8.
I don't get that.
The irritation.
I'm not a big Mega Man guy, unfortunately.
The frustration.
Oh, it's the frustration. There's a couple parts in that game that are just like very, very frustrating because you have to. It'll say jump, jump, or slide, slide, and you have to do it at like the exact right moment.
Already dead.
Yep.
And it starts to get faster and faster.
I played through that game. I think it was either this year or last year. 8. I am new to Mega Man, so I've been playing through the Mega Man games. And when I got to 8, I felt that pain. Trust me, I felt that pain.
My primary.
And I love that controller too, but it reminds me of that.
All I really remember of my time with Mega Man games is that death animation of that explosion. That's, I mean, because that's all I did. That's what I spent my entire time doing is just looking at that death animation because the games are so freaking hard. I like them. I love the music, but I don't know. I guess I'm not cut out for it. I can't roll with it. Maybe one day. The X games, I think maybe I get a little further in those. I've played those. The ones that are like 16, early 32-bit kind of style.
Yeah.
I like X. I actually played through that. Well, not through it. I'm like on the last little bit of it.
Okay.
I'm like right before the Sigma levels on that. And I'm having a blast with that.
Okay.
That first one, getting the Hadouken, is really satisfying.
I got that. I got the Hadouken.
It's just fun,
Things one-shots everything.
Yep. When you get to Sigma, though, it's super frustrating because you want to one-shot it, and it's so hard to get him with that thing. For me,
Mhm.
anyway.
I've heard.
I love Capcom. Capcom's up there, like, of the old guard publishers that I still
old
like.
Capcom.
What's that?
I love old Capcom. New
Yeah.
Capcom is.
Well, they're better than the Capcom of 10 years ago. I would say that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I think the Resident Evil series is doing good, and Street Fighter 6 seems to be better than Street Fighter 5, at least. You know, which is kind of a low bar, but even
Speaking
still.
of X, though, they made that new Mega Man game a couple of years ago. They need to make a new Mega Man X game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd mess with that.
Would you believe, Breakman, that Mega Man 11 was like 6 years ago already, or 7 years ago?
What?
Was it really?
That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's crazy.
Let me see.
It's
I
pretty
was
good
like-
too. It's one of the better Mega Mans.
You're probably
It
right.
is. It's good.
2018, right? So yeah, I think 7 years
Oh
ago.
my gosh!
Wow.
that is
God.
nuts. That is
Yeah, I was thinking
nuts.
it the other day, telling people, "Oh, the new Mega Man game, and I go and I look it up on Wikipedia or whatever, and it was like 2018. I'm like, what?
I hate time so much.
Yeah,
It flies.
Mega Man's
man.
one of my
It does.
favorite
It
series.
flies.
Okay.
me too. OG
I-
Mega Man,
I
love it.
love Mega Man, all of the Mega Mans, and then X really 1 through 4. 5's okay. 6 is horrific. 7 is
Yeah.
god awful. 8 X8 is okay. It kind of gets
Yeah,
back
it's
to being
alright.
decent.
I feel like it's a fun playthrough. 7 was ass and 6 was ass.
I want
I've
an
only
X9 that's in the
experienced,
style of Saturn, a Saturn one, like another Saturn one.
I've only experienced Mega Man 1 to 8 and X1 so far, but I've had a blast with all those. I have heard about the later entries in the X series, so those are going to be fun to go through. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
other than that, I'm looking forward to getting more Mega Man under my belt because that was a series
yeah.
that just went right under my radar forever. Because I was like, I got Castlevania, I don't need anything. I don't need anything else.
I always loved Mega Man, like from the beginning, but it was like early, like really early internet for me, like 95. I found this mmhp.net. It's still there, this Mega Man website, and it was one of the first like really awesome video game websites that I found. And it got me into IRC, this huge like Mega Man group, and it like made Mega Man so much more fun. And that was when I got super obsessed with it. And still one of my top series of all time. But
Same.
mmhp.net is nice because it'll give you like the boss order for every game and like tips on how to play it, so it doesn't make you want to claw your eyeballs out.
Okay. That's good.
Rip all your hair out.
What's the?
Yeah,
What's
but it was
the
listed on Nintendo.com. That's what I remember. I found out Nintendo.com actually linked to this fan site way back in the day, like back when Nintendo didn't sue you for doing stuff with their games.
Yeah, that's like their primary interaction with their fan base at this point is suing them for stuff. I mean, they're technically right. The law's on their side at this point. It's, I guess. I mean, at this point, it really is whoever has the most money, I guess, can kind of establish precedent, and then that becomes law. So that's,
Yep.
we're in late
It
stage
really
capitalism.
is. That's 100% that. It's really who
Go
has.
capitalism.
Yeah. Who can
Right.
outlast the other in court, basically.
Yep.
Leverage.
What's the Mega Man game that went full on polygonal and has like the auto fire, like the auto locking?
Legends.
That's X7?
I don't know.
Oh, the Legend series was on PlayStation and
Legends.
Yeah. That one is like simple and kind of like, I'm sure like actual Mega Man fans probably hate that one. I kind of like that one because I can enjoy it a little bit.
Actually, people love Legends.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
I like
there's
Legends.
a lot of people
Yeah,
that love
they
Legends.
love it.
Rob,
And they're mad
Rob
that
Man.
they're mad that they were robbed of a third one.
yeah, the third
Mm.
one. That was what I was gonna say.
Okay, yeah. I played the first one of that and I enjoyed it for quite a while. I don't think I finished it, but I played a good chunk of that one and enjoyed it.
But I mean, I have like the Mega Man art book, like the fancy schmancy.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys, that was a few years ago. Like, I love those
The-
art books. I have
The
the
Udon one.
Mega Man one. I have the Zelda one. What?
The Udon.
I think
book
so.
or
Yeah, it's
Udon
the
publishing?
thick.
Yeah.
It's the thick one that
Oh,
has the
yeah.
really high quality drawings from everything.
Okay.
So obviously, Breakman, like that character, Proto Man. Although I don't call him that, I prefer Breakman. I love that character, the way he's drawn. I just love it. I've always loved it.
Yeah.
The shades and the scarf.
The shades. Yeah. I've always loved that in old designs, the shades.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Airzonk did it the best.
There's on,
Yeah.
Gigantic, like I don't know what you call them, aviator style. I don't know what the hell they were.
They're like actually more like Japanese delinquent
Yeah,
glasses.
yeah.
You know, whenever you saw that in anime, it was always like
Hoodlums.
Japanese delinquent characters would wear those.
They
Yeah,
had, like the hair like greased up and pointing out like front of.
huge pompadours and those spiky sunglasses.
You know what I learned about that from? I learned about that aesthetic from Katamari, because there's several levels in that first one where there's guys that you roll up that look like that, and they're called like Japanese gangster or something. When you go into the collection and you look at like all the funny names for everything you've rolled up, I think that one is Japanese gangster or something. I was like, oh, okay, so that's what this is. This whole look is. Okay, it's like Japanese bad guy sort of thing. Like
Yeah,
That's cool.
bad boy. Okay, cool. Well, let me ask you a little bit, Mad Belmont, as we kind of circle around the orbit of the main topic tonight, as we kind of close in on it. What is your sort of history with the PC Engine generally? And is it just limited to Castlevania Rondo of Blood, or is there more to it? Or, tell me a little bit about, Mad Belmont's history with that platform and those games.
Okay, so the only way that I knew about it before here in like the last 10 years or so was because I did some research and I found, oh, there's a Castlevania game that was on here that never released over here until like the PSP era. So that was kind of how I knew about it. And
So
then
that was
I
your
got
gateway
into
drug.
it. Yeah, that was my gateway.
Okay.
And then I got into it and I actually started learning more about it through two people. Happy Console Gamer, because he cannot stop talking about that thing, and I do not blame him,
Right.
and yourself. You two are the only two sources that I've had for that system, and I've actually, been made aware of the Valis series, Legendary Axe,
fun games.
things like that. The Castlevania clones on the system.
Right. Legendary Axe, you could definitely say that about, I would say. Like the way Gauguin controls very much feels like a Belmont in a lot of ways.
Oh,
Yeah, like I remember a video of yours where you were talking about some platformers on the TurboGrafx, and I
Mhm.
heard that. As soon as you said Castlevania, I was like, okay, I'm putting that on the log instantly.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten around to it yet, but I have plans for it.
Cool. Well, I'm glad that I, in my little way, kind of contributed to that for you. Definitely, if you're interested in TurboGrafx content, I always tell people to check out Spider1A. He's the OG, the true OG of like scripted, edited, like polished videos about the Turbo. And Happy Console
It'd be so
Gamer.
cool to see a new video from him someday.
Yeah, well, he did the whole American Library, and I feel like that was kind of like his mission. Like that was his primary mission. So now that that's done, I don't know. I guess I'm always, like you said, always kind of like sort of have an eye out for a new one, but I feel like it might be done. I don't know. I feel
Yeah,
he's a pinball guy and he does other stuff with his life, so I don't know.
Right.
He may be kind of done. I'm not sure.
I'm sure he's moved on.
Yeah, it seems like it. I follow him on Instagram and we like each other's posts and stuff. So, he's doing stuff, and I guess he's like at least somewhat aware of like this show and me to some extent probably. So I think he's still like he's floating around in the ecosystem, but I think he might be done like making those style of videos about it.
Yeah.
Now,
He
Mark
posted a
Bustler
video 2 months ago
about PC Engine.
PC Engine.
about pinball machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like his
To his
other
wedding.
love is pinball stuff,
Mhm.
which I get. And, there is an overlap there with, the Alien Crush and Devil's Crush and stuff. But I think that's probably the extent of what we can like, realistically expect from him at this point. I hope I want to be wrong about that, but I'm not so sure. I think he's probably moved on. Kind of like Mark Bustler, another guy, Classic Game Room, who talked about those games a lot too. I see him over at the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo every year, and he'll talk about the stuff he's doing now. T-shirts and music and doing a lot of other cool stuff. But I always bring up like when are you gonna do like another like traditional Classic Game Room video? And he always tells me like, I just don't really have it in me anymore. That his channel got kind of like I don't know what happened to his channel, but he feels like there's like a little bit of a shadow banning effect, perhaps, or something. Because he at one point made his own website and tried to funnel people to that from YouTube. And his theory is that like that made somebody mad at YouTube and maybe like put him on some kind of lower tier. I don't know. We'll never know how that works on the back end of YouTube. There's definitely a big interconnected system of stuff we'll never understand. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they did to him for that. But in any case, somebody's got to carry the torch, and I think it's more or less me and you, Saru, and maybe a little bit of Bithead 1000. He's doing it, and
More you than anything, because dude, I'm so bad when it comes to creating content nowadays.
Well,
But
at least with your
eventually I'll
streams
get
and stuff. I mean, you do your streams on Twitch and stuff, though, so that's something. And what's the other guy who still kind of talks about it? I'm blanking on a brain fart. Anyway, Bithead 1000 definitely
Jimmy
does.
Hoppa?
What's that?
Jimmy Hoppa, maybe?
I don't know. Maybe.
I'll sometimes do like.
I know we're not the only ones, and I'm not like. Oh, I know Shmup Junkie will still bring it up from time to time too. So he's officially semi back to YouTube. I think he's still working on the documentary. I think he's still putting the final touches on that. But once that's finally done, I think he'll be more or less back in his YouTube flow. So that's exciting too.
I love his channel.
I know.
It's so good. His videos are just
so well done.
It's great. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He it was really a lot of fun to have him on the show a few months ago. That was actually how I got hooked up with Johnny Graf with you.
Right. Yeah. That's fun. That's fun how that worked out. And it's, and I just randomly emailed him. I emailed a few people about the show, and he was one of the first ones, and he got back to me pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And
he was super nice.
Yeah.
When I messaged him on Discord, we had a conversation for a while. We found out we both went to the same college, and it's interesting.
Oh,
really? Wow. That's awesome.
Small world, huh?
Yeah.
Really is, especially on the West Coast, it seems, out there. But, yeah. So, all right. Talk a little bit about the game of the hour here, Castlevania Rondo of Blood. Originally released in Japan as Akumajo Dracula X Chino Rondo. Am I close? Sorry.
You would be correct on that.
Okay. 1993 action platform game developed by Konami, released for the PC Engine Super CD-ROM 2, tiny little Exponent 2 system, directed by Taru Hagihara. Part of the Castlevania series, protagonist Richter Belmont goes to save his lover Annette, who was abducted by none other than our friend Dracula.
Or in my case, my mortal enemy.
Of course, yes. It was first released exclusively in Japan, October 29th, 1993. Very Halloween, very seasonal. And the direct sequel, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, was released worldwide, 1997. So was that like 4 years after that? And that has created a very interesting dynamic over here in the West, where a lot of people, even today, much less than maybe 10 years ago, but still a lot of people don't really know Castlevania Symphony of the Night is a sequel. It's not a standalone story. And that intro does allude to it, because that's really the final boss of, Rondo of Blood. You're sort of like, you're recapping it kind of. But I guess in a way to sort of ameliorate that, the game was remade for Super Nintendo as Castlevania Dracula X. And of course on the PSP, Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles, and that was it was 2007, so that was much later. And that was, in my experience, that was my first time actually playing that game, was the PSP, polygonal 2.5D kind of looking one. And I was not super impressed, but, I did play through it because I just loved my PSP so much. I played the hell out of everything on it. So now, all the way after that, it took all the way until 2018. Actually, that's not entirely true. Wii's Virtual Console got a port in 2010. So that, I guess, was really the first true, Western way to play it. However, more accessibly in 2018 is when we got that Requiem collection on 8th gen consoles. So that was when it really became playable, truly playable. I have it on PS4. I think most people probably play it on PS4, but if I'm not mistaken, I think it came out on Switch and Xbox One and probably the Wii U.
Requiem is a PlayStation 4 only game.
Oh, is it really?
Nowhere else.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
Which is
to
why
me.
That's crazy.
Which is
yeah.
why I say all the time in my videos, I joke around about it. I'm like, well, if Konami would release one collection outside of the PlayStation,
Yeah, because they did the Contra ones and everything on everything, right?
Yeah, they did. Anniversary collection for Castlevania, Advanced collection, Dominus collections on everything, that Contra collections on everything. I got that. Yeah, there's a lot of their collections that are on everything else, but not Requiem. And I think that there's a reason behind that. It's because the two versions of the game that are in that collection are the ones that you can unlock in the Dracula X Chronicles.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all knew that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night are unlockables on that remake of Rondo of Blood. So you get them by going into the levels. They'll appear as like an icon, and then you just pick them up and boom, you unlock them. And
you talking about the PSP remake?
Yeah,
okay,
PSP. So they are unlockables on the PSP, and those are the ones that are in the Requiem collection.
Okay, so I did know that those were in there. All right, so yeah, that makes sense. So that's basically the same. So is that why it doesn't have like save states and any of like the modern features? Because it's basically just that PSP port just brought over?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And that's also why the voice acting in Symphony of the Night is different, because they redubbed it for that.
Ah, see, I didn't know that. See, that's why you're here. That's why you're the Mad Belmont. See?
Yep.
Anytime you got fun facts like that, chime in. I love that. Okay, good.
Yeah, will do.
Okay. So anyway, arguably, I would say the TurboGrafx 16 Mini might be my favorite port, because that one, not only does that add like more than enough reason to get the Mini on its own, but that version does have save states and stuff that PSP one didn't have.
I think Virtual Console does too. I believe it has.
Yeah, it may. That would make sense, because that's its own port, so that would make sense. So in any case, though, that's another really strong reason to get the TurboGrafx 16 Mini, even today, with how expensive it can be.
It's just cool.
It's just a cool
Mini.
I mean,
whether you can get it, either the PC Engine Mini or any way you can get it, it's just a cool little device.
It really is. I love that thing, and there's you could pick any 2 or 3 games on that thing, and they cost more on their own than that system. So
yeah,
mine.
And not to mention, Rondo is probably the only reason why I want that thing.
Yeah.
And Castlevania is the reason why I want the NES Mini, and then Super Castlevania 4 is why I want the SNES Mini.
Is that on there? Okay. Yeah, I haven't played.
Yeah, Super Castlevania 4 is on the SNES Mini, and I think I know 1 for sure is on the NES Mini. I don't know if 3 is. 3 should be on there. It's the best one out of that NES trilogy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. 3 is, out of those NES ones, the 3 is by far the best one, I would say.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It clears the other 2.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dongled. He's a huge fan. He's another Vania tuber. Me and him have talked before. We respect each other, and he's a huge fan of 2. Sorry, man, but just as much as I do, 3's better.
Yep. Shots fired. You're wrong.
Yeah, 2 is so cryptic.
Yeah, isn't 2 like almost like an RPG kind of, but it doesn't fully
It's
do it right?
open world RPG. It's basically the blueprint for what Symphony of the Night would become. But it was rough around the edges.
Yeah.
Mostly due to a horrible translation. Like, it was horrifically bad.
Okay, yeah. And like Saru said, I always found it just cryptic. Like, I didn't get far in it at all, because I was constantly like losing track of what I'm supposed to do, where I'm supposed to go, which is honestly sort of a problem I have with a lot of Metroidvanias. Like, I get like the ones that really shepherd me through.
Understandable.
Like Shantae, those games do it right. I love those games. I can play those games all day.
I've only played one of those games, and that's the Shantae that it's just Shantae, and it released on PS5. That's the only one I've really sat down and played. I have Risky's Revenge, I have Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, but
Those are both.
I
Yeah,
haven't
those are
really
great.
sat down. I haven't sat down and gave those their due yet, and I need to.
They're
As
fun.
a Metroidvania guy, or one of them.
For you, they may feel a little bit thin. Like they might feel, because I'm sure you probably like. I imagine you probably really want to like sink your teeth into something like Axiom Verge or like one of those like kind of bigger, crazier
I
ones.
love Axiom Verge and Hollow Knight and
Yeah.
Last Faith, Blasphemous.
Yeah,
Those
Blasphemous.
Metroidvanias like that.
Yeah,
But I
Shantae
could
doesn't have as much
see-
meat on the bone as those games.
Well, I would really see those as like gateway Metroidvanias. Like if you want to get someone into the genre, get them into Shantae.
Mhm.
That's a good gateway
Yeah.
drug into Metroidvanias.
For me, it's where my Metroidvania journey starts and kind of ends almost, because I really, when it gets more complicated than those, like I tried this game After Image, for instance. It's like, I really like the
I have
artwork.
that. I haven't played it, but I have it.
It's really cool, but it's like, after about 30 minutes, like I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I'm going back and forth between like the two areas that I'm allowed to go in. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go play a linear game and actually play it, have fun. So
Metroidvanias, they're games that reward you for knowing the map, and when you get a new ability, you're just like, I wonder if I can go back and do this over here.
mhm.
You see that in my Symphony of the Night playthrough that I'm doing, those two streams that I did. Every time I got an ability, I'm just like, okay, let me go on over here because I know I can go do this now.
Mm,
That's the kind of knowledge that you have to have whenever you're playing a Metroidvania,
right.
because it really rewards you for knowing the map, knowing, okay, like now I can get all these jumps that I couldn't make because now I can finally double jump, something like that.
Right. I guess maybe the thing for me, and I know I'm not the target audience for the game, so I'm not saying the genre should like change to fit my sensibilities, but the thing for me is like the distance between finding a thing I can't do yet and finding the ability to do it. Like that distance, if that's too long, I'm out. Like I lose interest. And it
Fair.
needs, and I'm probably out of the norm, but I feel like those things need to be somewhat close together for me to have uninterrupted fun. That's just how it hits me. Like I think that's primarily what it is. Like that distance is too long in a lot of those games for me, because I'll get the ability. I'm like, well, yeah, I remember I saw like rocks stacked up before, but now that I have the Iron Fist ability to punch them, I don't remember where they are anymore, and I'm just gonna wander around for 20 minutes and lose interest. You know what I mean?
Yep, that's the thing. It's like if you can deal with how long apart it is from you finding the thing that you can't do to finding the ability to be able to do it, then that's where that's where it's going to make a break for you.
Yeah.
Is you being able to deal with that long time gap. Like I remember my first time playing Symphony of the Night. When I finally got the double jump ability, it had been like an hour and a half since I had found all those double jump
Mhm.
areas. And I'm like, wait, where were those again? And then
Mhm.
that's what led to me, exploring the map. And that's why my first playthrough took like 60 to 70 hours.
Mhm.
Is because I was trying to find all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
See, that just
Like when you get that jump ability where you jump straight up and you can like shoot
Oh,
into
the high
like,
jump.
the ceiling and stuff, to get like the full map. I remember just spending hours just shooting into corners of like the map just to try to get that 200%.
Yeah, that 200.6%. That's what I usually go for when I play Symphony now. Because to me, that's just the best way to play the game. Except for
Yeah.
this playthrough that I'm doing. I'm just going with the flow on it. If I get 200%, cool. If not, all right. I can always do it another time.
what's the
Dude,
absolute
the Saturn one's like 216% or something like that.
Yeah, it's
I remember.
weird.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
what
because it's got extra areas.
what's the
Yep,
top
got
number? Like what's the actually most you can get? Is it that?
200.6 on the PS1, and I think it's
200.6 on the PS1 and the 360 and Requiem. 216 on the Saturn because of what Saru was mentioning, the extra areas that are in there.
Okay.
But yeah, I think 216 is like the highest that you can get on that.
Okay.
but that's just the Saturn version. That also has Maria, which
Right?
Yeah,
It's a fun little playthrough.
we will be talking about Maria for sure. We have to address Maria, definitely.
oh yes, especially in the context of this game.
Right. Yeah, definitely. There's some division there. So I guess we can move on to this question that I want to pose to everybody. Although I do want to point out one thing that I discovered while I was researching the game. X is 10. This is the 10th Castlevania game. Did you guys know that?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I did not.
Yeah. If you like, I
That's
guess
just
it's
like,
counting like the Game Boy games and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like in Final Fantasy. When you get the Final Fantasy X, it's 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or E's 10 Nordics, right?
Yep.
But
But
yeah,
not
and
Mega
Roman
Man.
numerals.
see, I just assumed it was
Not
like
Mega
being
Man.
edgy.
Yeah, that's true.
I just thought it was being edgy and just like Dracula X because X is cool. And like that's the extent of that's all I thought about it. But yeah, it's actually the 10th Castlevania game. So perhaps I'm alone on just discovering that. That's fine.
No,
So,
I also did not know.
did you not? Okay, good. So I'm not alone. Great. All right, good. So let's talk about a little bit. I want to hear everybody's like, if you can recall, you might not be able to, but what you're able to recall about your first time playing this game, this Rondo of Blood. Because if you played it at the time, which Sarah, I think you might have played it like roughly around the time it came out.
1995, but
Okay, yeah, so pretty close. So you were
pretty close.
Yeah, so you were, I imagine, you were probably pretty dazzled and maybe like shocked at, the Red Book audio, the anime style cutscenes, and just like just the graphics in general. Like that was a pretty big step up from, HuCards and even, Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo games in some ways. Like that was a pretty big step up at that time. And
Yeah. I mean, at the time, there was stuff that was more graphically impressive. What impressed me about it is just comparing it to other Castlevanias
right.
and the way that one executed things, right? The way, obviously, CDDA audio was like the big thing. The anime cutscenes were another really big thing. And I just felt like at that time, Dracula X did Castlevania better than any previous Castlevanias, or at least that's how I felt. Maybe that was my PC Engine bias at the time, but at the time, it felt like the best thing ever in terms of Castlevania, in terms of a lot of action games out at the time. And I remember just balking at like the Super Nintendo version all the time whenever that subject would come up, just because I feel like, it was always like people were like, oh, I got Castlevania for Super Nintendo. I'd be like, you know what I mean? Like it just did things so much better. Back then, teenagers, it's different. Like obviously
Right.
now I'm not like that, but
Yeah.
back then, kids shit talk all the time. They're like, oh, you got that shit version, like stuff like that. I got made fun of tons for liking the TurboGrafx 16. So finally, I was like, ha! This did it better.
I know
There
all
were
about
actually
that.
That's so crazy to me because I always thought it was like the cool system because it was like the obscure one. So
Yeah.
I never knew anyone that had one growing up, but I always like wanted to know somebody that had one.
Yeah, I was that turbo kid back then,
Right.
and suckered a couple other friends to join the ecosystem. And one of them recently had come on to YouTube and was saying that he regretted selling all the Sega Genesis stuff, but bought into a Turbo Duo because I had gotten one of our other friends to buy into it, so he felt left out and did too. But he said he regretted it later on.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
boo.
I get it. Like, no one regrets getting into Turbo, but if you have to get rid of your Genesis to get into Turbo, I could see that maybe not feeling like a great trade, because as much as I love the Turbo, the Genesis is truly awesome. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of 10 out of 10 bangers, and if you're leaving that behind entirely to go to the Turbo, I mean, I love the Turbo, but really, you want both. You want to have both. You don't want to choose between them.
Mm-hmm. That's how I was
What a
with the Super. Like I got the Super at first, and then got a Turbo, and then I was like, okay, I need both of these in my video game life rotation. And that's how it was. And then I got a Genesis.
What a ridiculous generation, though. Like SNES, TurboGrafx, PC Engine, whatever, and Genesis were just ridiculously amazing systems.
I know.
the NES generation was pretty good too, but that 16-bit and then the 32-bit generation,
Yeah.
was pretty amazing too. And like those two for me are just like ridiculously still. I mean, you imagine three of like the greatest consoles of all time. Just here they are, right in
Right.
a row.
Yep.
Right.
And I agree with you because I feel like the graphical jump just between what we were seeing with like NES and Atari, to those generation of consoles was significant.
It was a
Yeah.
quantum leap,
So,
really.
yeah, it really was. So it was
It
just
felt like the future.
it really did. It really did. It was like such a significant jump.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you on that. It was truly ridiculous in the best way.
I would argue
Yeah.
going from 8 to 16-bit was probably my favorite jump in all of gaming, because
Me too.
16 to 32 you could definitely argue is more like technologically advanced, but early 32-bit games, especially the early 3D games, I mean, they're, even at the time, we were like, this is kind of ugly and horrible.
No, I was disappointed in early 3D, like the PlayStation, like that
Right.
whole gen. Now I look back on it and I have some love for things that I probably
Sure.
should have liked at the time. But like I remember seeing the 3D games and I was like, why this? And I was trying to figure, I didn't know what sprites were. And I remember like looking up online or in the early days what sprites were. I was like, sprites look so much better than this mess of
Yep.
triangles or whatever they're trying to do. And it really, that was my first retro leap, really, I think, when the
Yeah.
PS1 N64 Saturn, that generation really made me appreciate the previous
art.
two gens like hardcore. Yeah, the pixel art,
Mhm.
because and I still love the pixel art to this day. Like I think that period of artwork is so special.
Because it's aged well.
Yes.
It's aged great. And old 3D is disgusting to look at. So
A lot of I mean, oh my god! Like I said, I've been playing N64 lately, and there's some good looking stuff. But like for Star Fox
Not a
64,
lot.
for example, like you can turn off the blurring and the anti-aliasing and everything. If you turn off the anti-aliasing in Star Fox, it looks terrible. Like there's so much dithering and stuff everywhere. The anti-aliasing really makes it like look okay.
Yeah.
And I love Star Fox 64, but it's weird going back to that gen because the N64 have a few games that are really awesome, and then a lot of games that I just am not.
Yeah, just
And the
a
frame
lot
rate
of
makes me
bad
nauseous.
3D. That's another thing too, and the constant draw distance.
Yeah.
With
That there were
the
games, of course,
N64.
but from that, those constraints came a lot of really neat ideas, like the fog and Silent Hill, that really took that
Yeah.
limitation and used it. And I would argue Alien Trilogy took the same idea, just used darkness instead of fog, and used it to make it like a borderline horror game. So
I look back on that gen more fondly now than I did at the time.
Yeah.
It was a jump that, I was super excited in that gen whenever we got a nice looking 2D game like Mega Man 8, X4, whatever game that we got. I loved anything 2D we got that gen. But now looking back, I mean, there's some. I mean, obviously, Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game of all time. So that's there. But
is it really your number
Can I
one
talk
favorite game
about-
of all time?
it is.
Okay.
I wrote my undergraduate thesis I had to write on Final Fantasy VII, and my professor told me not to do it. He was like, "Don't write on a video game. It's not gonna have
Don't
enough
do this."
And I was like, literally like, I'm gonna do it anyway, and I did. And I
Good.
ended up getting. I was mad that he told me not to, so it made me like work twice as hard. Maybe that was the plan. But
Maybe
I ended
if he
up,
was a good
it ended
professor,
up-
then it might have been, yeah.
Maybe, yeah, and I but it was actually a pretty good experience. I learned a lot about the game I didn't know.
So he knew how to like get your goat and like get you like
Oh, I was,
excited about learning.
yeah. He was like, he's like, if you write it about that, you'll fail. And I was like, I'm not gonna fail. I love this game. But yeah,
Hey, well, C's get degrees. That's what I told myself through college.
there you go.
You know?
But I remember my first time playing Rondo. If we're still on that topic.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So because I was just talking about this with Jack Burton, who's also on the show and a friend of mine for a very long
Yeah,
time.
I need to have him on.
Oh yeah, he would be a great
Yeah,
great
he would.
guest. He's so much fun and very knowledgeable about everything. But this was back in the early days of the show, 2002, 2003. And we're both huge Castlevania fans. We'd always heard about Rondo of Blood, but never had been able to play it. And we worked together on acquiring the things that you have to acquire with Magic Engine, that old emulator, to be able to play it, and getting the BIOS and all that stuff. But it was like kind of this science experiment getting it to run, because we really didn't know what we were doing to get it going.
Magic Engine was great though back then.
It was. Oh my god, yeah, it was so. But when we finally got it to run and were able to play it, it was so amazing. Like I was so shocked how that game came out. When it came out, and it looked so great. I mean, I teach a class on video game storytelling, and when I show like the evolution of games, I always use Rondo as one of the examples for the PC Engine. And I've mentioned like the console came out in '87, and of course the CD add-on came out on later and all that. But like the fact that a console that came out in that time period is able to do Rondo of Blood is awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible the way they kept that thing alive, and in a respectable way too. I didn't feel like it was on life support like the Genesis did, like with 32X and stuff. Like as clunky and unintuitive as the CD attachment ultimately was with the Super System cards and stuff, it was kind of, if you had everything you needed, it was pretty elegant. Like, I mean, it worked, and it was cool. Like, I'm sure Saru will tell you. I mean, it was at the time, it was like that was true innovation.
I wish I had prioritized it actually back then, because I had actually seen Rondo of Blood being played. I used to go to this Japanese video game store, right? It was called Japan Video Games, where I got my CD-ROM unit, and they were playing it. And I was like, "Oh, this looks pretty cool." But at the time, I was like into like Anime Fighters and like the Neo Geo stuff that was coming out. I prioritized the arcade card, but at the time, I was like, "Man, if I had just maybe waited on the arcade card and just gotten Dracula X like when it came out." Like I feel like my experience would have been that much more better, because I didn't actually get my copy until like '95 from a store called Game Dude, which is still around. It's in Burbank. It's actually where I got my TurboGrafx, the core console. What do you call it? The base unit.
The core.
Where I got the base unit. Not the core graphics, but like just the TurboGrafx part that plays the HuCards.
Oh, okay.
The main console, and then I would get the CD-ROM a little bit later. But Game Dude back then, they had picked up a used copy. Like, this is my copy from back then. They used to use these stickers nowadays, or back then. I don't know what they use nowadays, but if you know, you know. Back then, if you bought like the old Game Dude games, this was their logo. Like back in the early '90s, like actually throughout probably all of the '90s. And so I had picked up this copy for like, I don't know, maybe $50-$60. One of the girls there was like, "Oh," she's like, "You want to see what we just got in?" And she like went to the back. We were looking at all the TurboGrafx games, because they used to sell TurboGrafx games so cheap, like I'm like $13, $15, for a bunch of games. And she comes back out with this, and she's like, "We got this in.
This is it."
And I was like, "I will take that." It was at the time I was going to buy like 3 or 4 TurboGrafx games, like whatever budget titles, whatever I can get, loosey gooseys or whatever. I had like $60, and she was like, $50. And I was like, "I'll take it."
Yeah.
Bought that. We went straight home. Me and my friend were just like, "Man, this is so good." Like, we were just in awe of like the music and the cutscenes, and then we just couldn't wait to like talk about it with people. Yeah,
Zero regrets.
It was so cool.
That's a zero regret purchase right there.
Man, I wish I would have known you when I lived in Los Angeles, because like you could have shown me all the cool game stores. Because none of the people I knew were into games like that. I mean, they like the current games and stuff, but no one that I knew was into like all. Well, maybe.
When did you live in Los Angeles, actually?
When or where?
When?
Kind of between the 2005 to 2012, 2013-ish time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I probably would have been gone already by then. Because I moved here. I live in Las Vegas, and I moved into Las Vegas. for like the second time in my life in like 1998, and then I was here till like 2008, and now I'm back here again. Jumped back and forth. I was born in LA, lived in LA for the good portion of my life, but because my parents, like, my parents were divorced very early on in my life. I was like 4 or 5 when they divorced, right? So like, my dad lived here in Vegas, so I was between here and Vegas like a lot. But yeah, Los Angeles was probably the best city that you could live in if you were a fan of the Grafx ecosystem, because it's probably the place that had the most exposure to it.
Yeah, seems like it.
California.
Which sucks for me because I lived in West Virginia, which is the opposite of Los Angeles. And there was nothing.
The opposite.
Yeah, somehow my dad ended
You
up
probably had to
wrangling
mail
some
order
stuff.
everything, huh?
Yeah, I think that's what Dad did. I think he ordered, like, mailed out, like, would literally like mail cash to somebody, and would
back then that's what you did. You mailed money orders to people, and that's how you got your stuff.
That was the day. And then when it came in finally, it would take like for flipping ever to get a game in. And then it was like Christmas, like, oh, I ordered this like 6 weeks ago or something, and now it's here.
Yeah.
And now we're right back at that same place with limited run, and with how long they take.
Yeah, except it takes a little bit longer. It takes about like instead of 6 weeks, it takes like 6 years.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Way worse.
I have a strictly limited order I placed literally, I'm not kidding, 2 years ago, and it's just
you're never gonna get it. Well, is it Parasol Stars?
Yes, that's one of them. The other one is the Irem Collection Volume 1. It's a special edition with a soundtrack and a poster. And I really want it. I really want to play those Image Fight and everything on my PlayStation. And it's on sale digitally all the time, but I don't do it because I know I have this physical special.
Right, because you've got the game coming, so you don't feel like you can't justify the.
In theory, it's
on a
coming.
turtle on its way to you.
One day, I'm just whatever. One day, I guess.
It's in the ocean on that turtle.
Yeah, whatever. I can play those games 6 different ways until then. As long as they get it to me before I die, I guess I'm fine. Whatever. It's a low bar, but I'll take it.
A low bar.
Very low bar.
Did anyone have like a really bad experience ordering a game before limited run?
I don't think so. Not really.
Not really.
Can I tell a quick terrible game buying story? Okay.
Yeah.
When I got Ocarina of Time back in the day, I pre-ordered it, was super excited for it. And then, the day came when it came out, and it didn't come. So like a week later, I called. It was EV Games, and I was like, "So where's my game?" And they're like, "Oh, there's some problem with the whatever. We'll get it out to you." And then a week later, I get Quake 2 expansion pack from them, which I did not order, and I didn't have Quake 2 at the time. And the weirdest thing about it, and this, I swear this is true, it had someone else's name and address on the outside of it, and it was New York, and it was in Kansas, and I still don't know how the hell that happened.
Maybe they got
yours. Swear to you. Maybe. And then so again, I kept calling them like every week, and it ended up being like 4 or 5 weeks after I was supposed to get it that I got it, and I didn't get the gold cartridge because my gold cartridge went wherever, and my friend spoiled that Zelda was chic, although it's not that hard to figure out. But
yeah,
so I was so frustrating. All my friends were like about to beat it, and like I didn't even have it.
It was the Wild West back then, because like if a business screwed you over, what do? You mail a letter to the Better Business Bureau or something and wait 2 years to hear back from them?
And then you're right.
It was so weird. Like I still don't know how that whole thing happened. I was so frustrated.
I remember seeing that was the weird, mail order stuff back then was crazy. Like it should not have been the way. I remember Boys Life magazine and all these types of teenage boy magazines. You go to the back, and there's all these ads for crap that isn't real.
What is Boys Life?
Boys Life?
Sorry,
if you don't know what that is, it sounds weird, I guess. But it's like a Boy Scout thing. It's like nature and like hunting and shit and camping and shit.
Okay.
It's not.
I'm glad you clarified.
Yeah. It's
because I was about to say I need some clarification on that.
You ever read Ranger Rick or any of that kind of stuff? Okay, anyway, Boy Scout shit, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Gotcha.
So in the back of these magazines, Highlight magazine had them too, like stuff when you're in the dentist waiting room, that all these magazines. At the back of them, there's shit like Time Machine for $150, like all this shit that isn't fucking real, but it's
Right.
it's allowed to be there, and they have a price and an address, and you can order it. I don't.
I always saw those in comic books. Comic books always had those like crazy
like
things.
comic books had them. Yeah.
Or all those game magazines had that like amazing collection that you could win that had like the best TV, the best surround sound, and like every game ever made, and no one ever won it. I saw a YouTube video about that like a year or two ago. Is like you'd fill out a puzzle and you'd send in money, and then it'd be like, "Oh, you did so well that round. Now you just need to do this puzzle and send in more money." And it was just like an infinite sending in more money puzzles. And the guy that did the video, I wish I could remember who did it, ended up discovering that no one ever won it. It was just totally a scam.
And who would have claimed otherwise? You know what I mean? Like,
It's the Wild West. You don't know. I remember my mom told me, she was like, whenever you do this, be completely prepared to never get it. She set me up for that. And I was like, okay, like that, if I set myself up for that, then anything that could happen would not disappoint me. You know what I mean? So she was right to tell me that. But
it's too bad you never got your time machine.
I wonder how that ended. I wonder who was like, somebody brought the hammer down on that, because it doesn't happen anymore. At least not in that way.
The internet had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I guess now
Amazon
we have like
took over everything.
Yeah, so now we have like.
First thing I ordered from Amazon, I remember sent them a check in the mail, and I had to wait for them to get the check because I didn't have a card yet.
Personal check. How do you even do those? I don't even know.
So I used to do money orders where you would go to like Western Union, and you would say, I need a money order for whatever, and usually a money order would cost like 50 cents. Basically, you gave the money 50 cents or $1 at like expensive places like 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven used to do them for $1. And that's how you paid for everything back in the day. You used to pay for rent with money orders. I used to buy all my games with money orders up until like 1999 when I got my first like actual bank card. But before 99 or like late 98, everything was money orders. And sometimes you'd send them to the ether and then you'd never get anything back. It was just the way it was, especially eBay. eBay was notorious like that.
Oh yeah.
When it came to stuff, you would send money orders for stuff, and then good luck if you got your thing.
Yeah, I did that. I screwed people on eBay at one point. I had a saxophone that I sold on eBay, and I didn't mean to not sell it. I wasn't trying to screw them over, but I got the money, and I was like 15 or whatever, and I just didn't care. And I was like, cool, I have the money. What are they gonna do? Come after me? It's the internet. It's not real. And I would get like,
it's not real.
Yeah, it's on the screen. It's not out here. But and so I would get emails from this person over and over again. And at some point, they told me that they had contacted the police. And I was like, okay, I'm going to ship it out. So I shipped it out, and that was the end of it. I never heard from them again. So I don't know if they were lying or not. But
no, I'm sure 100%. 100% they were lying.
Probably.
That used to happen. I mean, I sold a phone back, I don't know, sometime in the mid 2000s, and they got the phone, and then they said that they didn't get the phone. So they got the phone, and they got a refund from eBay. And from then on, whenever I do eBay, I always do signature.
Well, nowadays it's pretty good. Like now everybody's treated, at least in my experience, because I've been on both ends of that transaction for several times over the last couple of years, and it's pretty good now. Like the process is okay now.
Yeah. I've bought a few stuff on eBay. Process is fine.
Yeah.
Just fine.
Like if the seller totally ghosts you, it takes a while because eBay really wants to give them time. But if they tell you how much time they're going to give them, and if you don't get it, you can do a thing, you press a button or whatever, and then they pretty much within that same day, you'll get your money back. Like eBay will just eat the cost, I guess. So
yeah, I've had to do that once. I got a game for Rad Bash. Me and him did like a little swap thing. I was supposed to get him a game, and then he was going to send me one. So I got it, and the first listing that I did, I actually got screwed because the seller never sent it. And then I got a refund, and I immediately got it the next time. But yeah, it still can happen. It's just not as much as it used to.
As long as you follow through with them, generally you'll be made whole at some point.
Yeah.
I guess that's as much as we can ask at this point. So anyway, back to Castlevania. Matt Belmont, I want to see, what was your first time playing this game like? You talked a little bit about it before, how it was your gateway to the Turbo and PC Engine largely. But when you first played it, how did you play it, and what were your kind of initial thoughts? Like, did that anime cutscene with all that Red Book audio, did that blow you away? When was this?
Okay, so the first time that I actually played this, it was back when I was a kid. I actually played the Dracula X Chronicles on the PSP. That was how I first was introduced to it, because I only found out about the TurboGrafx version through research as a teenager. So I didn't even know about that, until then. But
Okay.
I played it on the PSP, loved it, absolutely loved that version. It is a version that I go back to, but not as much now that I know about the TurboGrafx port.
So your
I
first
prefer to play
experience
that
was
one,
it was that
actually.
polygonal one.
Yeah, it was the 2.5D remake.
Okay.
And from there, then I went back and I played the original one, and that was the one I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm playing this from now on.
Yeah.
As good as that remake was, and I do think it's a phenomenal remake, there's something about that TurboGrafx one, the pixel art, the music, the anime cutscenes, everything about it, it just screams, this is the game you need to play.
Yeah.
And if you play the remake, or if you play the Requiem version or the mini version, that's fine. But man, there was just something about on my PC playing that original version, through emulation, loved it.
Yeah. That intro, the first 10 minutes of that game, I put up there with the best intros of all games of all time. Like fighting death.
It's valid.
I mean, when I think of great intros to games, I think The Last of Us. It's certainly one of the best of all time in terms of intros. I think
Yes.
of God of War 3,
Oh, yeah.
like doing this to
Now
Poseidon's
you speak in
eyeballs.
my language.
Yeah. And I think we're simpatico on a lot of shit, actually, Matt Belmont. We'll find that out as time goes on, I guess. But yeah, so I mean, but this, like the fight with death on that, carriage, whatever you call that thing. And
right at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, right at the beginning. And then, you make your way to the castle, drawbridge goes down. The half of a whatever that was, giant minotaur thing that chases you through the
Behemoth
foyer.
is his name.
Yeah. And then you find out when you reach that wall, you find out that the half of them's ripped off for some reason. Like, that was incredible. I felt like that was, I'll never forget how shocking and amazing that was to experience that for the first time. And I didn't experience, I'm more like you, Matt Belmont. I'm more like you. Like, I think that PSP version might have been actually my first way of playing it. I don't remember. I'm not totally sure about it, but that might have been my first exposure to it as well. And I think before I finished it, I think I might have found out that there was, this PC Engine version out there, and I should seek that out. But yeah, I mean, however I came across it first, I just remember that sequence from death to that thing. And then when you see, you can go down into the sewer part or stay up high, and it starts branching pretty much right away. And it's still linear, but there are these alternate paths, and there are these different ways you can go. And as I dig deeper into it, I'm realizing, there's not just alternate paths to end up at the same boss. There's alternate bosses. There's alternate
and
entire
alternate
areas,
stages.
Right. And I can't say I've never seen that before, because you could argue games like Splatterhouse and stuff sort of did that too. But this really pushed it to another level that made me think linearity isn't necessary. Like, you can really open games up. And that's probably where, Metroidvania, I would argue, you said that the seeds of Symphony of the Night were sort of in Castlevania 2. I would argue they were right there in Rondo of Blood. I mean, it was right there. It was just one more step up, and you get truly Metroidvania. I mean, it's only like one notch away, almost, I would argue. And
That's possible because Igarashi was a huge fan of Dracula X, and that's why he chose to do Symphony of the Night the way he did, to be a direct sequel of it. Igarashi was actually working on Tokimeki Memorial at the time, and he would oversee. Sometimes he would do grunt work for Dracula X, but for the most part, he was working on Tokimeki Memo, and really wanted to be a part of that original Dracula X team. And so when Konami was like, "Oh, hey, you want to be a part of this?" He, made Symphony of the Night a direct sequel of Dracula X, just because he had witnessed so much of it during his time at Konami working on Tokimeki Memorial.
Okay.
So it could be possible that what you're saying is it has some merit to it, because
just
the
intuitively
whole
to me it makes
branching path
sense.
thing.
Yeah, it makes sense to me that's like the maybe not the rough draft, that's kind of putting it harshly, but like the progenitor to the what we think of now as Metroidvania, which is Axiom Verge, and the like, Shantae even. And I just in my opinion, I know I'm probably in the minority, but I think Rondo of Blood is actually the better formula. But obviously both are amazing, when done correctly. So
they're very different.
Yeah, ultimately they are different. But in terms of sub-weapons, which is something that really defines Castlevania, especially the 16-bit era, you have, correct me if I'm wrong, Belmont, but to my count, you have 6. You have the axe, the dagger, the Bible, pocket watch, cross, and holy water. Is that it?
I'm pretty sure that is the official count.
Right, not counting Maria.
Not counting Maria and her sub weapons. I guess you could say they are.
So, given those sub weapons, which one is your favorite? And we'll go around and say. I'll go ahead and start.
Okay, so
I would say I'm torn between 2. I like the axe because it's fun, but it's not always applicable, because of the arc. But it's fun to use. When you nail something with the axe, it feels like nothing else, like in the whole franchise. But the dagger, as kind of boring as it is compared to the others, is the most useful, well-rounded. You can use it on almost everything. So functionally, I kind of prefer the dagger, but emotionally, I like the axe. That's where I'm at. Where are you at, Matt Belmont? We'll go around to everybody.
Okay, so for me, I personally, and this is not just tied to this game. This is one of my favorite sub-weapons in any Castlevania. Holy water. I am a holy water maestro. My viewers tell me that all the time whenever they watch me play those games, especially the first one. I am a huge fan of the holy water.
I love that.
Yeah, like if you ever get to watch me play Castlevania 1, you'll see why people call me that. But I also like the cross. I love it. It's full screen. It's like a boomerang. It comes back at you. If you can corner a boss to the wall, you get like 2 or 3 hits out of that thing. It does pretty decent damage.
Because it kind of lingers.
It goes across the screen and it kind of lingers for like 1 or 2 seconds and it comes back.
Right.
And if you can push a boss to the wall and then throw it, you get like 2 or 3 hits.
Right.
And it melts them. Love it.
Yeah. So would you say that's your favorite, like overall?
As far as like emotional, I go with the holy water because outside of like 1 and 3, it definitely got nerfed in later games. That's for sure. It kind of got back to its former glory in Symphony of the Night, which is my favorite, not just Castlevania, but my favorite game ever is Symphony of the Night. I love that game.
Yeah.
To no bounds. My viewers are sick and tired of me mentioning that game because anytime I get a chance to, I do.
It's so seminal, dude. It's like you see the DNA of that game in so many other games. It's hard to not bring it up when you're at your level of like aficionado-ness with it, right? You see it everywhere you look, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, like I play all these Metroidvanias and I'm just like, okay, yep, there's the Symphony influence right there. Whether it be in the map design, whether it be in the layout of the map itself, whether it be in the design of the bosses or whatever. I'm just like, oh, okay, I know what you played growing up.
Either you see that or you see Metroid, right?
Yeah,
Um,
Super Metroid to be specific.
right, yeah,
because
of course.
that one has a lot of influence.
Right, yeah, which is heavily influenced by Aliens, which is the best property of all time, which is a different discussion. But Saru, where are you at with your favorite sub-weapon of these?
For me, it's easy. My number one is the cross, just because I feel like, especially in Dracula X, you can use it in so many places that it's just super useful. But my secondary, that's might be kind of unpopular, is the Bible. Actually, I really like the Bible because it lets me just take out enemies around me without having to worry about taking too many hits, especially like those little I don't know what they are, the little gnome
Oh,
fuckers that
Flea
like jump
Man.
around. Yeah, those guys.
Flea Man.
Yeah, so having the book when you're just trying to like go forward, right? Or Medusa heads, like the book is good to take those out too, without
yeah.
having to worry about them hitting you because that thing's going around you.
It's
for a
great for
while.
crowd control. Fantastic for that.
Right.
Like
Mhm.
if you're
for-
surrounded by Flea Men and then you've got a Medusa head flying in at you, get the good book as I call it and just walk forward.
Yeah, it's good for definitely with the Medusa heads because their pattern is so simple, but at the same time it's like it's hard, at least for me, it's like hard to react to in real time. I don't know why, because you see what the pattern is, but I don't know. They're just there's a funkiness to them that's hard to predict. So yeah, if you can just wipe them out with something like that, sure.
Yeah, and Symphony of the Night, I still like it as well, but they changed it significantly. It's just like more like an orbit, where it like is constantly orbiting you.
More like it
as
is
to
in
where
Vampire
in
Survivors.
X, it does this like spiral,
Mm-hmm.
but I still like it. I
Yeah.
still say that it's still one of my favorite weapons.
Matt, what are you thinking, Breakman X? What are you thinking in terms of sub weapons? Like, which one is your like kind of go to?
So I also love the cross.
Okay.
That one I think is especially when you can get the 2 and the 3 and throw multiples of those. I think that's like optimum. The axe is pretty good, honestly. Too. I don't know. We're not really talking about Maria, but I like the dragon.
Yeah.
Like, how fun is it to just throw a dragon at something?
Yeah, just a big ass dragon just flying across.
Almost like a Final
But, yeah.
Fantasy summon, almost.
It is. Yeah, it's like here comes Bahamut.
Yep.
Sidebar, by the way, I ordered Final Fantasy 16 finally, and I'm so pumped to finally play that damn game.
That's good.
I have that game. I started it. If you like DMC, you're definitely going to like that because the battle director for DMC 5 did the combat in that game.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
very DMC-like.
Yes.
That'd be a good one for you to have Jack talk about. He loves that.
Okay. Yeah. I'll definitely have him on at some point. Let him know that I want him on the show for sure. And
We'll do.
is he on? He's on your Discord, I assume.
Yep.
Okay.
He's on there.
I'll get hooked up with him at some point because that's
should.
occurred to me several times. Like, this guy knows what he's talking about. I want to bring him on. So yeah.
Oh yeah. No,
I'll
and
get
he would love to do it too. I'm sure.
Cool. Okay. He's got to turn off the green though. He's got to switch it up. He's got to give me something else. I don't like.
It's for the Xbox.
I know. He's got to give me something else. Anyway. So yeah. We're very. We all like the cross. I like to see that. How about bosses? I mean, First of all, have we all seen all the bosses? Let's be honest.
I definitely have because I've 100% at this game.
Okay. Matt, you're making a face.
No, I have.
Okay.
It's been a little bit.
Okay. So we all can we can pick a favorite and feel confident about it. I guess I'll start with me, and I'm sort of a basic bitch on this, which is fine, but I do like the Minotaur because it's a boss format you've seen a million times. You've seen it in Sonic the Hedgehog. You've seen it everywhere. There's the 2 platforms on either side, and there's a big, scary man running around, and you use the platforms when they're advantageous to you. And there's nothing really super special about it, but when he runs at you when he's about to die, I always forget. I've never once been ready for that. And for some reason...
Oh, when he's just dives like this.
Yeah, it's always shocked me. I should be ready for it at this point. I've fought him, several dozen times, but I'm always caught off guard by that. And there's something to be. I think that's a huge testament to the game design because I'm so focused on that fight, and I'm so focused on doing what I need to do to get through it that when that moment comes, I'm just never ready for it. So that's something subtle is going on in that game design that I just feel like to this day I can't put my finger on it, but it's something because I'm always caught off guard, which is what I'm supposed to be. So I gotta tip my cap to that guy. But also the water dragon, which is an alternate boss. You don't see him if you do like the quote unquote normal path, but he spirals around the bridge and he's just so interesting. And I guess he might be in other Castlevania games. I'm not sure, Mad Belmont. You can correct me on that. He might.
The water dragon.
Is he
I'm
unique
pretty
to that
sure
one?
he is in another game. I'm just
Okay.
not thinking of it off the dome.
Yeah.
I know that there's something like him in Haunted Castle. I think he's like the normal boss of stage 2.
Okay.
And but it's more fire based, I think. No,
Okay.
there is water. There is water in that stage. So yeah, I think it is the water dragon.
He strikes me as like a Sega Genesis boss, like he's very Genesis-y, the way he like spirals. He reminds me of like a treasure game or like a Konami game, where like something you would fight in Rocket Knight Adventures or something, where he's all these segments that are kind of moving independently, and he's just cool looking, and he's hard, and he's unpredictable and just the level looks cool and it's just very different. It's a very different look than the rest of the game. So I really like that boss. And I guess like every boss, he sort of has like that one last, go at you when he's about to die. But his is also really fun. And the fact that he's like an alternate boss and I didn't discover him for years after I knew about the game, also sort of gives him a weird, different kind of reverence for me. And so I'm not sure. I want to say he's in Bloodlines, but I don't know. Maybe somebody in the comments can correct us and point that out, like where else he is. But I love that guy. So those are my two. Mad Belmont, what about you? Like, what are your favorite bosses throughout the game?
Okay, so my first one is one that is a bit of a bias for me, and that's because I love movies that surround this creature, but the werewolf from stage 2, the normal path boss on stage 2, I love the werewolf.
Okay.
I just love his design, first of all.
Mhm.
That design is chef's kiss. Love
Mhm.
it. But then his fight is so much fun. He is sitting there and you don't know if he's going to baseball slide at you. You don't know if he's going to climb up the walls and come at you in an angle or if he's going to go from this wall to this wall and then kind of arc over you. You don't know what he's going to do.
Right.
And I love that about that fight. That is one of my most fun boss fights to just go through every single time. Every single time I play Rondo, I'm like, ooh, I cannot wait to get to stage 2 because I'm looking forward to that werewolf. Then, even though he is a giant pain in my neck, Death is my other one, the Grim Reaper from stage 5. I
The second
love
fight with
his
him.
design again. Yeah, the second fight,
Mhm.
the one that actually counts.
Right.
But I love his design. I love, even though again it is a pain in the neck having him just sitting there floating up at the top of the screen, just taunting you
Mhm.
basically with his presence as he's sitting there and summoning all these sides that are just popping up all around you, and you've got to dodge them, but you got to hit him at the same time. Then when you get into the second phase of the fight, he sits there, lands down, and he's kind of playing like Street Fighter with you a little bit, playing footsies with you, and swinging that scythe at you. I just love dancing with him in that second phase.
It is a dance. There's so much going on that you're constantly reacting. It is a dance. That's exactly the right way to describe it, I think. Let me ask you about the werewolf, though. What is the sub-weapon that goes best with him? Because I've tried them all, and I never feel confident when I fight him.
For me, I have the most success with basically not using any sub weapon, really, just using my whip. But
Okay.
if I do use a sub weapon, it's going to be probably the cross, because like when he comes in at you at an angle, if you know that you can't get that whip out at the right time, you can just chuck a cross, and if he's in the air, you'll knock him out of the air, whether it's with the whip or with a sub weapon. If you can hit him while he's in the air, he won't hit you.
Like if
He'll
he's
just knock him backwards.
if he's on his way to you and you hit him with the cross, you throw him off?
Yeah. Or with the whip too. I've done it both ways. If he's in that ball form and he's just flying right at you and you hit him, it'll knock him backwards.
I feel like I should know that. Maybe I did, but so often I'm always looking for the moment where he's like, it's probably because, I'm probably approaching it the wrong way, but I'm always looking for the moment where he's like in between his movements, which is a very short little window. But that's when I tend to get a hit with either the holy water, because if he's anywhere on the ground, the holy water will get him, like if you time it right. So that's always
Yeah.
been my thinking with him, but that's an interesting perspective because I guess you can sort of interrupt him.
Yeah, that's how I end up making the fight a lot quicker than it usually would be.
Mm-hmm.
Is I'll wait and I'll try to get the proper spacing so that when he flies at me, I whip him out of the air. Then he gets stunned for a little bit, so I walk forward and I get a second hit on him right before he can do anything else.
Okay, good to know. So would you say Werewolf's your favorite boss? Death 2? Who else? Who's like who's your number 3? I know you got a 3.
Yeah, my third is, I would have to say the Minotaur too.
Okay.
There's just something about that fight.
It's
you
fun.
know, having to avoid getting stoned because he has that stone breath,
Right.
and him with the halberd, and him sitting there, you don't know if he's gonna try to stab you with it or if he's gonna try and jump and swing it at you. Which, by the way, I don't know if y'all noticed this, but next time you do play the game, no, pay attention to this. The enemies in the stages give you a hint as to what you're going to be dealing with at the end of the stage. Like those enemies right at the beginning of stage 3, where you have the ones with the spears that just poke you, or they'll sit there and they'll wind up and,
Right.
swing it at you. That's giving you hints like, hey, you're going to be seeing this again when you get to the end of this.
Every level does that?
Subconsciously, you might not know it, but they do. In
Interesting.
some way, shape, or form, there's one enemy that will give you a little bit of a hint, like stage 2, for instance, with the skeletons. They're throwing stuff at you to tell you, hey, you're going to be dealing with something that's going to be in the air, and you've got to deal with that.
Oh, I never thought about that. Okay. See, that's another little nugget of that game design just being so like top shelf.
It's
Sorry.
where I feel like, sorry about that, but
You're good.
it's where I feel that Dark Souls gets a lot of its boss design from, and its level design and its enemy philosophy from. I feel like it got a lot of that from Castlevania.
Probably, honestly. I've always said, if anybody's going to make a new Castlevania game, get From Software on it. Like, they're the ones. They're the
Dude,
ones.
I've said that before.
Yeah.
I said that before in a video, actually.
Like, Bloodborne is already halfway there. Like, just do it. Just get them on there.
One of my favorite games ever. I love Bloodborne.
Yeah. That's one of the only Souls games I actually can play and not rip my hair out.
It's the only one I finished.
Yeah, same.
I'll be honest with you.
Saru, what would you say would be your favorite boss in the game? If you had to pick one, or if you have a couple that are sort of tied, what are you thinking?
I really like the Camilla battle. You know,
Okay.
I just think the design is so cool, right? She's just like sitting on top of this skull, just like butt ass naked. And then like when you beat her, what's her name? Like, what's her? I forget what is her name. Shoot, I can't remember her name. The other girl that's at the bottom of the screen. Like when you're fighting Camilla, she's like stealing your hearts, and then when you finally do take out Camilla, she's like, "I'm gonna kick your ass." She takes off like her clothes and she's like flipping around and doing like crazy shit. I was like, "Whoa!" You just didn't expect it. You know, and let me see. Who else
Shocking.
is there?
Kind of a shocking moment, yeah.
Yeah. The werewolf is another one I really like too. I feel like That's a fan favorite. It's
Mhm.
just a cool battle. I always thought I won't go into it because we've already talked about him in depth. I do like to use the holy water item crash on him. I feel like it's super useful to
Oh
use the
yeah.
holy water item crash because like he'll try to do stuff and then he can't, right? Like he'll roll and then be like constantly getting hit with the water.
Mhm.
And that item crash not only has multiple hits, but it stun locks enemies.
Yeah, it's super useful in that fight. Um, but I always thought it was funny when he changed his back to the human when you kill him. He is anatomically correct, at least in the PC Engine version. I don't know if they changed that later on,
Yeah, I
but
don't know either.
in
They
the
might
PC
have.
Engine version,
That's the type of thing they would go back and change probably if they did.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't think his little pixel peepee is there anymore in future iterations, but
We
it
gotta
is
get
in the PC Engine one.
We gotta get this pixel PP out of here, guys.
But
And you just got shadow banned.
yeah,
That's
you're
fine.
on some algorithm now. Let's see what else. I would say the Shaft battle, just seeing like a bunch of old bosses, like come back in, that 16-bit
Oh yeah, the
style.
boss
So
rush.
cool.
I
Yeah,
hate that one so much.
I know. Well, like
It's
it's
so
not
hard.
a fun fight. It's hard.
That's
But
the one I got stuck on that for so long the first time I played it.
yeah, it's a hard one. But aesthetically, well, like once you get the hang of it, or if you're a Maria and you just completely just tear him a new a-hole.
Yeah.
But in it aesthetically, it's a cool fight. It's a cool fight aesthetically. Seeing the bat and the mummy and then Medusa, is it? Yeah,
It's the bat, then
Medusa.
okay. It's the bat, then Medusa, then Frankenstein, and
Oh,
then
right, Frankenstein
the mummy.
and the mummy. Yeah.
The whole universal lineup there.
Mhm.
Yeah, which that's another reason why I love that whole series so much is because it's basically a love letter to Hammer horror and the Universal monsters.
Right. Yeah, it is like it is more hammer coded, I guess, than universal, I suppose.
Definitely more Hammer than Universal, but yeah, it's still there.
The violence of hammer is more in line with it for sure. Matt, what would you say if you had to pick a favorite boss or two or three? Which ones really stand out to you in the game?
There's so many good ones. I mean, this game is full of good bosses.
Yeah.
I could probably mention. I mean, I agree with a lot of what y'all have said. But I also really like Death. I just think that I love the sprite, the way that he looks. The fight, as Matt Belmont was saying, is a lot of fun too. So I'd probably have to say Death is my favorite. And I love the pixel art on both Frankenstein and the Mummy. And I know the Mummy's a pretty easy fight, but it's a pretty fun one. And I love the way that animates and everything. And just to mention one we haven't mentioned yet, I like Dolahan,
Hmm.
the night guy.
Oh, okay.
I just
You
like
talk about the headless knight, right? The one that is holding his head like this. Okay.
Yeah. Now he reminds me of the knight on or one of the bosses on Zelda 2 for some reason. But I like how he laughs at you and then shoots his sword thing at you where it goes through the ground.
One thing I hate about that boss is when he throws his head at you and then like if it hits you, it slows you down. Oh,
yeah.
I hate that. I hate getting hit by that.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you like rethink your strategy, in those little microseconds.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's not in any other Castlevania as a boss, right?
To my knowledge, I don't think so.
Okay. I didn't think so either, but you'd probably know better than me.
Let me ask
At least I haven't seen him in any others.
I haven't either, but my experience with the whole franchise at large is really not very comprehensive. I'm really good with the 16-bit ones, and I'm really good with like the modern ones, like Lords of Shadow 1, Lords of Shadow 2. And
I never played those.
Lords of Shadow
Those ones right back there.
I love Lords of Shadow 1 a lot. It's very much from that era where every action game had to be like God of War. So it sort of has that.
See, I love it from that perspective. The gameplay in Lords of Shadow, I love it
Yeah.
because I love the classic God of War. You know,
Mhm.
that was one of my favorite Sony exclusives.
Mhm.
But man, that story. Oh my God, that story. I can't get over how bad that is.
It's not the best. Yeah. Now, Lords of Shadow 2, I would argue, is truly the stinker when it comes to the story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my viewers know I have a personal bone to pick with that game.
Although,
Like, I hate that game.
okay, great. I'm glad you're here then, because gameplay-wise, I think that game's okay. Do you hate it gameplay-wise too?
Not gameplay wise.
Okay.
No. It's just mostly in the stage design, how it's in modern times. Like, what?
Yeah.
The story, awful. You're playing as Dracula, but you don't get to actually be at the full power of Dracula for like over half the game.
Right.
Like, come on.
Isn't like Patrick Stewart in there somewhere too?
Yeah.
Like just modern day Patrick Stewart. It's like shows up. I forget what his role
Right.
is, but he's in it, and it's like this takes you out of it like a lot. It's like, why is Captain Picard in here?
Honestly, like, if I didn't have to have it for this collection, it would not be up here.
It's part of the lineage. You can't deny it. And
Yeah.
the PS2 games,
Yeah,
I
like,
think I kind of like too, like Lament of Innocence. I thought was pretty good.
Those two right
like-
back there.
Yeah,
Lament
I
of
like the
Innocence and
PS2
Curse
ones.
of Darkness.
yeah, they're okay for what they are. So I don't know, but that's from my perspective, which is not. I'm not a Castlevania connoisseur. I'm a very casual observer. But yeah, the 16-bit games, Bloodlines 4 and Rondo are those are the best ones in my opinion. So okay, let's have the Maria discussion. Do we like Maria? Does Maria ruin the game?
I love Maria.
I like
like
Maria.
I don't
Yeah,
mind Maria.
I think she's so much fun.
I'm from a time where if you beat the game, you get to play the game again with an OP character and have fun. Like that's part of
Yeah.
that's
yeah.
part of the
And,
That's
experience.
exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's a reward for beating the game. So I like Maria.
Mm. I do too.
There's a lot of division though. A lot of people don't like Maria. So are we all in agreement that we like Maria's inclusion?
I love
Oh,
Maria.
I'm
like
a fan.
Maria.
Matt,
I do.
I just
like
think
Maria.
she plays so differently. I mean, obviously it's easier with her, and I think you should play it through with Richter to get the full experience. But
of course.
she's fun to play with. I mean, she's the way that she flies through the air. She's like more acrobatic. She's more agile.
Mhm.
Double jump.
She has double jump. She has kind of bizarre, like I mentioned, the dragon. Like she has some really bizarre secondary weapons, and
They're more Asian.
she's
They're more
just-
like overtly Asian like themed kind of.
yeah, like there's the one where she's like a turtle shell. Like that one's so
Yeah.
weird to me. That like it's like, oh, Mario time.
Yep.
Mhm.
I feel like
And
that's
it's
a
fun
good
just
one.
sliding across the stages with her, like just breaking the stages, going through them so
Yeah.
fast because you're just sliding through them all.
Right.
Mhm.
Now, not to make too much of a comparison between the two, but to me, it feels like when you get all the Chaos Emeralds, you beat Sonic 2. You get to be Super Sonic. You get to fly around and fuck shit up. That's Maria.
I think what it is with Maria is that she plays more like a modern day platform character. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
the comforts and play styles that you would get from a lot of modern platforms nowadays would play something like how Maria plays, as to where Richter Belmont still plays in that old, very heavy character, dedicated jumps. Once you've made your jump is, it's in, you're going in that direction where as
Yep.
Maria, you can just kind of float around wherever you want. A lot of modern games do that whole thing too, and she just feels like a modern take on action platforming characters,
Yeah.
as to where Richter is just very straightforward, your Simon Belmont type character.
He's classic.
Yeah, Richter and the Belmonts as a whole, especially in the classic Vanias, I call them human-shaped blocks of cement. They are slow, they are stiff, and when they jump, they do not move.
Yep.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah, that's a very astute observation, Saru. I think that's exactly the right way to read Maria. She's like kind of ahead of her time in a way, because
way ahead of her time.
And nowadays, when you play any game even adjacently similar to this, the double jump is an expectation from the get-go. Like that,
Right.
you expect to have that, and you expect to have like bigger, more bombastic, sub weapons or special weapons or whatever, like her musical notes and stuff. So that makes sense. That's exactly what she is. I never thought of her that way, but that is exactly what she is. You're 100% right. So with that, moving on to another question I want to pose, which we've dabbled in this as the conversation's gone on, but I really want to drill in on it. Which one do we prefer between Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night? And
Which one again?
no, just as games, like overall, like Rondo of Blood versus
God.
Symphony of the Night. I know they're a little bit different.
That's hard for me.
The more you look at it, the more it does kind of feel a little apples to oranges, but they are part of the same franchise. They're part of the same story. I think we can compare them fairly. So
Yeah, a pretty easy decision on my part. Pretty easy decision for
Symphony.
me. Yeah, 100%. Like, again, to my viewers, I know you're probably sick of me talking about that game, but I love it so much. It has probably the biggest impact of any game I've ever played. Like, I just can't get enough of Symphony.
Mm-hmm. And the reason for that, you think, is because the more fleshed out Metroidvania format?
Honestly,
It is the Metroidvania.
it's that. Yeah, it is that to an extent, but I just love the soundtrack. I feel like the soundtrack is the best soundtrack out of any Castlevania soundtrack, which there is a lot of great ones to choose from in this franchise. It's kind of like Final Fantasy in a way where there's no real bad soundtrack. There may be some bad games, but no bad soundtracks.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to the Metroidvania design, which led to me loving an entire genre, I also am just a huge fan of the story in that game and how it plays out. With you finding out that Alucard is Dracula's son and all that, like, what? And then you find out what happened to his mother, and that's even crazier, and you find that out through a nightmare sequence. But yeah, I just love it. Love everything about that game.
So, am I the only one that's going to say Rondo of Blood?
Nope.
Oh, Matt?
I'm probably
So-
going to be in the minority here. I'll
Maybe.
tell you that right
Maybe.
now.
We'll see. Matt, tell me, what's your thinking behind that?
Well, first of all, I love Symphony of the Night, especially this time of year, because when I very first beat it, it was like right around this time of year. So and it snowed today. So anytime it snows, I always think Symphony of the Night. It's great, wonderful, awesome game. But Rondo of Blood to me is like the pinnacle of the style of Castlevania game that I love most. I mean, I love Castlevania 1, Castlevania 3. I actually even like Castlevania 2. I know a lot of folks don't, but that's probably a nostalgia thing.
I
The
may
music
hit
on it.
Simon's Quest Defender. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm with
So
you
there's
on
more
that.
It's all two of us.
Well, three of us, because I did mention Dongled earlier. He's a huge
Oh,
fan
there you
of
go.
that game.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. The music in it's so great. But with Rondo, I just feel like it's the pinnacle of that classic Castlevania design, and I love the Metroidvania thing. But and I know that Rondo has the non-linearity because you can go to the different areas of the levels and all that. But it's still
But
at
still
its heart,
classic Castlevania,
yeah, it's still at its heart like linear.
Right.
And
It's
so
really the
I-
illusion of
it-
openness in a way.
Yeah.
Whereas Symphony of the Night is true openness.
And kind of like that thing you were saying, you don't have to think about where to go. You just go and you just kill evil demons and
Right.
spirits and stuff, and you don't have to worry about, I'm going here, going there, which can be fun sometimes. But yeah, I just think that Rondo perfected Castlevania as I first met it.
Right. That's my thinking too. Like when I think like Castlevania 3 or any of the 8-bit ones, I feel like it's all building towards Rondo. Like Rondo is the pinnacle of that idea. And then
Yes.
Symphony of the Night equally is legitimate for sure, if not more so, but it is a new idea. It is an evolution on what Rondo was doing. And that may be the reason you love it, that may be the reason you don't love it, but it is a new idea. Whereas Rondo is like sort of the climax of what the whole franchise had been building towards. At least that's kind of how I see it. Saru, what do you think between the two? I know it's apples to oranges to an extent, but what if you had to choose? What would you say?
Well, for me, it was always hard to see them as like a separate package. You know what I mean? Like it's hard for me to separate them into two different things because of the way I experienced Dracula X first, and then playing Symphony of the Night for the PlayStation for the first time, seeing it continue directly from that game and playing it in that order, for me it was always like just like one big package. If I absolutely had to pick, and once again, I don't know if this is just going back to my PC Engine bias, I would pick Rondo of Blood. I do like the music better in Rondo of Blood.
Yes.
I like the art style in Rondo of Blood because I'm a huge anime nerd, and it really tickles me to see that style in Castlevania for the first time, because we only ever saw like the serious kind of artwork that we'd see on the covers and stuff. Rondo of Blood is the first time they actually took like an anime approach to it. Although I do really like Ayami Kojima as an artist, I think her designs in Symphony of the Night are just spectacular.
Iconic.
Right? And
Truly
it wasn't
iconic.
they really are. And if it wasn't, and they fit the vampire motif so much better than the anime cutscenes that we got in PC Engine version.
That's a really good point.
Even though I do like that more because I because of the type of things that I like aesthetically, the package of Dracula X appeals to me much more. But if we were to talk about a more fleshed out game, obviously Symphony of the Night is a much more fleshed out game. The art style really fits the whole vampire motif. I think, like I said, Ayami Kojima does excellent work. We also got that, Victorian type Maria design out of Chronicles, or not Chronicles, the PSP one. Is that which one's that one?
Yeah,
Dracula X Chronicles.
Yep.
Chronicles. That's where we got the Victorian design for Maria, which we would actually later see in Nocturne, which I thought was really cool that they decided they were going to go with that Maria. I really like that design for Maria. It takes a step away from the super childish Maria that we saw in Dracula X, and kind of takes a little bit of the seriousness of the older adult Maria that we saw in Symphony of the Night, designed by Ayami Kojima, and kind of like it was a middle ground that I really liked. But like I said, I would still go with Rondo just because I experienced it, pretty close to, its release, and it was a whole thing. It was a whole vibe.
It was, and
the music is just excellent too. Like, I really do like the music in Symphony of the Night. Symphony of the Night has some amazing compositions, that we got from Yamane. What is her name? Michiru Yamane. Michiru Yamane did the music for Symphony of the Night. She also did some excellent music for Bloodstained, which has like the Symphony of the Night vibe. Love that music.
She worked on Bloodstained.
She did the Bloodstained. The main theme for Bloodstained sounds so much like the main theme for like Symphony of the Night. It has like very similar like inflections and how the music goes that you're like, there's no doubt you're playing a Castlevania game, right? Like that you're playing a game that was heavily derived from Symphony of the Night.
I actually call Bloodstained Ritual of the Night the true Symphony of the Night sequel that we had always been asking for, but just never got.
Right. It's definitely a spiritual successor amongst all spiritual. Well, I mean, like so much of the same cast worked on it, so it's like the spiritual successor.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's always gonna be Rondo for me, but like I said, my experience is different. I also feel like that view would be different depending on your age group too. I'm old as nails, so like I was around when Dracula X came out, so my perspective is going to be skewed. But I think that if you are in your 20 somethings, early 30 somethings, it's gonna your perception
30-year-old here.
Your perception's probably going to skew to Symphony of the Night, because I'm sure that those people in had a very similar experience, right? Like it was impactful to them, right? Like this Symphony of the Night was like the first of many things in that gaming space, first of many things for Castlevania, first and many things in the genre. I mean, Metroidvanias literally came from this game, and we got so many other games after that. But the Metroidvania, the term was coined because of Symphony of the Night,
Right.
which would start this whole they would start this whole, and like so many games now, want to be like it because Symphony of the Night did it so well. So I get it. I get how impactful that could be for someone and why Symphony of the Night would be their choice. Like I said, my view is skewed because of my age.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it because, like, part of my reasoning for Rondo is that Rondo of Blood isn't just an outstanding Castlevania game, one of the best, if not the best Castlevania game in the franchise, but it is also, it's a TurboGrafx game. I mean, you hear some of that PSG sound in there, and even the little ditty that plays when you beat a boss.
The boss, yeah.
That's TurboGrafx.
Or before you get to the boss, it's intrinsically TurboGrafx sound.
Right. And you hear that in a few other areas, I'm sure. If we really thought about it, we could probably come up with a dozen little things that's like that. If you hear that and you don't know anything else about it, just out of context, you'd be like, that's a TurboGrafx. That's a PC engine.
Mm-hmm.
So it has that PC engine in it. It just has it. So it's a wonderful thing, Castlevania, mixed with another wonderful thing, the TurboGrafx vibe. So for me, that colors my opinion. It just does. So that's part of why I reached that conclusion. But also because, like we talked about earlier, I just prefer to go from A to B.
Classic.
And maybe there's a diversion along the way. Maybe there's not. But I'm not a big fan of going back unless going back is very obvious and not a big trek. Then I'm okay with, like, Shantae, I feel like does it better, in my opinion. At least in a way that keeps my ADHD brain engaged.
Better than Symphony of the Night. I guess it's just like the different like play styles. Because normally I would think, because I like cutesy shit and anime crap, right? So like I would have thought that I would like something like Shantae like way better, but like Symphony of the Night is just it's a masterpiece. It's an amazing game that so many games try to be like. Speaking of which, actually, I kind of wanted to. I don't know. Can I ask Mad Belmont a question?
Sure.
Before we.
What you got for me?
So, have you ever played Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth?
Yes, I have. Record of Lodoss War. Yep.
Record of Lodoss War, and that is so much like Symphony of the Night.
Oh yeah. Like I played through that. It was on Game Pass at first, and I played it because I had Game Pass at the time, and I could not stop because of the symphony vibe that it gave me. I was like, oh, I've been fiending for this.
Yeah, it's so Symphony of the Night, like 2D, like everything takes visual cues from Symphony of the Night, from the bosses, from Deedlit's animations. Like her animations are Alucard like 1-1 almost. And I don't know if that's plagiarism at that point, but like I didn't mind. It looked excellent. Music is good, and I was also a big fan of Lodoss War as well. So seeing a Lodoss War in that like Symphony of the Night style is amazing. So I had wondered. I'm glad to hear that you played it and that you liked it, because I love that game.
Another one that gave me a Symphony of the Night vibe, I don't know if you've played it, is Time Spinner.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about Time Spinner. Man, I have not completed that game. I need to own that in some form. And I don't know, maybe I'll just pick it up on Steam. You're right though, Time Spinner does very much have Symphony of the Night vibes. I definitely need to go back, and I completely forgot about that game until you just mentioned it.
I remember it being announced when it came out. It caught my interest, but I never actually got around to playing it, but I do remember it, yes.
Looks cool.
It's kind of a mix of Symphony of the Night and Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's got like time shift things happening,
and then you can freeze enemies in place and use them as platforms and stuff like that.
It's pretty cool. It's a cool game. I completely forgot about that game. It had come out during a time when a sea of other things was happening, but I do eventually need to go back to that game. Like I said, I forgot about it until you just mentioned it, but very cool game.
Yeah, Time Spinner. Man, I remember that went on sale several times over the past couple of years,
Yeah.
and for whatever
Oh, it
reason,
goes on sale all the time, and
Yeah.
it's super cheap.
well, nowadays, yeah, I just for whatever reason, maybe I need to grab it like on GOG or something, because I know that it's on there. I think because I like GOG. I prefer that over the Steam. It's interesting you mentioned the Chrono Trigger. I actually bought Chrono
Thank
Cross
you.
finally, and I'm gonna play that. I'm excited to play that. I got the Black Label version and everything, so I'm excited. to get
Thank
into that.
God I am not the only person that prefers GOG over Steam.
Yeah, I mean it's obvious, right? Because you actually have the game. It's like on your computer. It's
It's
just there.
anti-DRM,
Yeah.
and I love that about it. It does have its own achievements for
Mhm.
games, if that's your thing. Like, I love achievements,
Yeah.
so
It's neat. I love GOG. If you have anything to play or PC games on, use that if you can, because you actually have the game. Like you can put it on a thumb drive and take it to a friend's house like the old days. We could
Yeah. yeah, you can make offline backups
Yeah.
for people. That's actually how I have Trails in the Sky First Chapter, the Ease 1 and 2 Chronicles.
Oh, nice.
I have that stuff because of online backups that a couple of my friends from when I was a streamer made for me, because they wanted me to play those games.
Mm.
Yeah, I love that thing.
I
Anyway,
always feel like games are cheaper on GOG too than Steam.
yeah,
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
like they do a lot of sales.
the sales are
They do a
super
lot
aggressive.
of sales.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to mention. They do a lot of sales, and a lot of sales that are like under $5 for a lot of their games that
Mhm.
are on
Yeah.
there. And I'll admit, I've bought like way more games than I normally would because of those sales.
Yeah, they get like Blood Rain 2 for like $1 or something. It's like, okay, yeah, I'll get it.
Yeah, like I saw Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines for like $5 or $6, and I'm like, yes, please.
Yes, please. That is nothing. I will take that.
And I just beat that for the first time this year. Love that game.
I've never actually played it, but I've heard it's so amazing. I can't wait to actually get in. One of these days, when I'm retired, maybe I'll just I'll finally get through this damn backlog. I don't know. I got like 40 games. I've been thinking about making like a series of videos where I use it as an excuse to like go into my backlog and at least give every game like an hour or something. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know if anyone would give a
Oh
shit.
yeah, try to get through it.
Well, just an hour just to see, just to get a taste of it at least, and then I can move on. At least say that I at least tried it, because I have so many games now that I haven't even tried yet, and it's annoying to me. Like I need to
Fair.
at least crack
It's
them
that
open.
meme, right? You seen the Robert Downey Jr. meme, right? Where it's like, it tells like this kid, he's like, when you're an adult, you'll have like all the games you could ever want, but no time to play them.
And when
Yeah.
you're a
And
kid,
it's
you have
so
all
true.
the time that you want to play them, but not
But-
enough games.
Yeah. You know
That's-
what though?
that's-
Like when you do finally get to play a game, it's like super awesome.
Yeah, it's nice.
Like it feels really special.
Yep.
Yeah, just sitting down and getting engrossed in a game, one of the best feelings ever.
I'll let you
Yeah.
guys know tomorrow. I'm gonna have that experience. I have carved out the day. I've removed everything. I have nobody. I mean, people are gonna try, but I'm not gonna let them. I've decided. Tomorrow,
Force field.
yes, shunned. Everybody is shunned. I have still. What's the horror game from the guys that made fucking what's that game? Still Wakes the Deep. Is that what it's called? It's a horror game on an oil tanker.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about
Yes.
with that. Now, what's the game that you're referring to here?
It's called Still Wakes the Deep, I'm pretty sure. It's by the guys.
Still Wakes the Deep. Okay.
It's by the guys that did Dear Esther forever ago. I don't know if you ever remember that game, but I love Dear Esther.
Yeah.
And
Someone just talked about this on, we did horror games, and someone talked about this. I can't remember who it was that talked about it.
oh, was it on that episode? Okay. But yeah,
I believe so.
I've been waiting since that game came out because I love that. Dear Esther is very special to me. I'm very excited to play their next thing. I think they might have actually put something else out at some point, but that I might have missed. But anyway, Still Wakes the Deep. It's a little more fleshed out, but it's a first person narrative horror game, and it's about 5 to 10 hours long. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to play that game, and I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to play it all day, and I can't wait. I'm very excited. So yeah, I'm going to have that experience tomorrow. And you're right.
That's awesome.
It's like you have to very
I'll think of you
You have to
with
very
jealousy.
well. I'll let you know how it is. You have to really deliberately, like you're saying, like you have to make time. You just have to make time for it.
Yep. You do.
It doesn't just happen. I mean, sometimes it might, but generally it doesn't. You have to make time. You just do. All right, gentlemen. I want to end with a sort of a final thoughts, but also kind of like I feel like is somewhat of a decent chance somebody's going to watch this and they're going to think, "Wow, I haven't played one of, or maybe even both of these games." What do we say to that person to get them to try Rondo of Blood? Obviously, that's going to lead them into Symphony of the Night. It'll do the work for us. We don't need to convince them to play Symphony of the Night. But Rondo of Blood, to get them started on that journey, what's something that you would say to somebody who hasn't done that yet? Like, how would we pitch it to them? And in my opinion, I feel like if you like TurboGrafx games, I know this is a Castlevania game first and foremost, but it has a lot of things in it that made a lot of TurboGrafx games great. It has this excellent music, excellent art direction. The backgrounds and the foreground, they separate nicely, and there's meaningful challenge, not overwhelming challenge, but meaningful challenge, and there's replay value, and you know it just checks all those boxes. So for me, that would kind of be my elevator pitch. Plus, obviously, you know, with it being a CD game, you're looking at real Red Book audio that was, you know, that was actually produced like in a recording studio somewhere. It wasn't necessarily like designed like a chiptune is. Not to diminish that, of course, but you know, it just has this prestige to it for a reason, because it's truly, for its time, very forward thinking, very outstanding, and ahead of its time in a lot of ways. Like we discussed with Maria, gameplay-wise, you know, there's a lot of things there that, as you go on through the decades, you see little glimmers of this game all over the place. And so I just feel like not only is it a great game, but it helps you understand a lot of other games that came out afterwards. And much like Symphony of the Night would also do, but even on its own, I feel like it's part of understanding history of games. And I just feel like it needs to be played for that reason, if nothing else. Mad Belmont, what would you say? Like, if somebody's curious about it, they're Rondo curious, and you know, what do you do to kind of push them over that edge and get them to try it?
Okay, so I would say if you want to know, like, what makes a Castlevania game, if you want a definitive Castlevania experience, you play this game. This is a masterpiece. There's a reason why there's so many people in this fan base that preach this game to the high heavens, and that is because it is a masterpiece in Castlevania design. It is, I would dare say, a perfect game.
Yep.
You know,
I think it's fair.
People might disagree with me on that, but I do think it is a great game. And if it wasn't for Symphony of the Night, then this would be even higher than it is for me, you know, but I have a bias towards Super Castlevania 4 because Nintendo kid. So, but I do love this game to bits. So if you want a definitive Castlevania experience and you want to see what makes a Castlevania, play this. Play Rondo.
Sarumaru, my good friend, what are you thinking about? What would you say to somebody?
For me, it's very simple.
Yeah.
Like, if you've played Symphony of the Night and always wondered what happened before that, because so many people I know, even to this day, there's still people who have never played Dracula X, but have 100% played Symphony of the Night. You know, can talk to you about Symphony of the Night, but have no idea that this even exists.
Yeah,
like for the sole purpose.
They have so many questions about that prologue, like, why am I a Belmont and then why am I not? You know?
Right. It's like you'll get all your answers, just play the game that came right before it.
Yeah, out of context, that opening to Symphony is a little weird, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. It's jarring too, to an extent, because you're like, okay, I'm this guy with this moveset, and then after a cutscene, oh, I'm this other guy.
Yeah.
That hasn't
and
been.
then you're like, why?
Yeah, why? Why do I have a sword and I'm like, you know, totally different type of guy? Yeah. It's it's jarring.
And that's why for me, I'm saying it's simple. If you've played Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which 90% of the people who have played it had never played Dracula X, and you want to know what happens prior and why that intro is the way it is, play the game before it.
Matt, what do you think? Would you?
I mean, I agree with what you all said so far. I would just add, if you like 2D games, I can't understand why you wouldn't at least enjoy this game. I mean, 2D pixel art games, this one is one of the best in terms of action games. And also, just if you like good music, I mean, the music in it is astoundingly good. And sometimes games even, just the music can drive you through it. So it's got awesome gameplay. It's a great Castlevania experience. And then you got the music. So it's really a no-lose situation.
Yeah.
Yes, I do agree on the music front. Actually, my favorite Castlevania track ever is from this game. Believe it or
music
not.
rocked so hard, you know what I mean? Like Symphony of the Night does have like it's a beautiful compositions, but the music just rocks so hard in a style that you would expect from a PC Engine game.
Oh, I love Symphony of the Night's music. It's great, but yeah, Rondo of Blood, that's Castlevania for me.
Yep.
It's Castlevania, it's PC Engine.
Yeah.
Like so many games do that, like
carves out that niche.
It does, it really does.
Yeah, I think the music might be the best example of sort of how I feel about Rondos, like where it's sort of the pinnacle of that classic Castlevania style before it becomes something a little different. The music is where that's perhaps best exemplified because it's a lot of those themes and a lot of those melodies and stuff that you hear in the original NES games maximized, right? To the point where they can't go any further from than this without becoming something else.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best versions of most of the songs.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so.
If not all.
Exactly.
Really.
And I honestly feel that that's why Castlevania went in the different directions that it did after this game, because they were like, well, we can't top this. There's no way we
What do we do now? You're right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
We have to do something new because you can't do Rondo again. It'll only be worse or as good. You have to do something else. So, and that's what Symphony did. It did something else, and it's arguably better depending on your perspective.
That's a good point, actually.
Right.
That, like, where do you go from here?
Right.
I've never actually thought of that.
That's why I'm really supportive of games when they totally reinvent themselves, like God of War 2018, for example. Like, a lot of people are kind of pissed at first. Like, I want more God of War 3. And it's like, well, you got that in God of War Ascension, and it wasn't as good because God of War 3 was perfect. You know what I mean? So, when it's time to move on, you got to move on. You got to do it.
As much as I don't like 2018, I do got to admit that revitalized God of War.
Yeah.
That switch up in gameplay, even though I can't stand it because it's too slow for me. I love it.
Did you play Ragnarok?
I love I haven't played Ragnarok. I haven't even finished 2018 because
Really?
Even though the story is great, that gameplay, no. Just no.
Wow.
I feel the same.
Wow. Okay. Damn.
But my son beat it, so I would watch him play significant parts of it.
Did you see where he
Both
got
of those?
Did you see the special part? I don't want to spoil it. Where he got the things back.
Oh, I've got that spoiled.
I don't want to
I'll just
spoil
say
it
the
for
blades.
Matt.
Yeah.
Do you know what we're talking about, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
so-
it's cool. I like it. I don't have the time to play through the entire thing.
fair enough.
And like if I was a kid and my life was coming home from school and playing games, then I would have totally played all the way through it. It's just I have to be so selective now. Really
Right.
is my thing.
That's the problem. Yep. Exactly.
Oh man.
That is our catch-22. Like as we get more adult money and we can buy more games, we have less time to play them. It's such a wonderful conundrum.
I did have one more question. I know we're trying to wrap it up.
Go. Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm going to open up a can of worms. But I wanted to ask
Open it.
Belmont, open it. If he, what did he think of the Castlevania animated series?
Oh.
Like, as a
Okay,
That's a good question.
so for me, it's a double-edged sword. I like it for what it is, but if you were to ask me, do I think it's a good adaptation? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of details that they miss,
Sure.
and especially the OG series. Like turning Hector into what he ended up being. I don't mind where they went with Isaac, but Hector, like after playing Curse of Darkness, seeing what they did to him just pissed me off to no end.
Okay.
And then, of course, making my favorite Belmont ever, Trevor, just this angry, edgy drunk. Like, come on, man.
You feel like you
So,
kind of did him dirty there?
Yeah, they really did, I feel. But other than that, I can stomach it, because I have season 1 back here in this collection.
Yeah.
My big head's probably blocking it, but
Now, in relation to this particular episode, did you enjoy Nocturne?
I enjoyed it about the same as I did the OG series.
Oh, really?
You know.
Okay.
Because I can watch the OG series now because I got out of that mindset of, uh,
It's not going to be
comparing it to the games.
Yeah.
I basically just accept that this is its own thing. If I just
Right.
accept that, I can watch it.
It really is. It really is its own thing that references heavily on the original series.
So with that in mind, yeah, I got through Nocturne season 1. I haven't seen season 2 yet, but
okay. Then yeah, watch season 2. It's much better than season 1. I actually had a difficult time with season 1. Like I liked aspects of it, but I thought too many other things were too slow in Nocturne. But
yeah, that's
2
fair.
I feel like is a lot better.
Mm.
Cool. Yeah, that's all I wanted to know. I just want to know what he thought of the series. Because some people, there's some fans of Castlevania who are like, oh, I hate that shit.
Oh, trust me.
So,
I know all about the division in the fan base. Trust me, I know all about it.
Yeah.
There's some people in this fan base that say that if you even tolerate the games, you don't care about the game. Like if you even tolerate the show, you don't care about the games, you don't care about the lore, all that type of stuff. I've heard it. I've heard it all. So
yeah.
Where do you land on the anime series, Saru?
I like it. Oh, there's some things I didn't like. There's some changes that I just wasn't cool with. But as a show, the art style is really good. It's crazy gory, which
I love the art style so much.
I would say fits because of the vampires and stuff. I feel like it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be really bloody and gory. The art style is great. It's got this pseudo anime / comic book style. It's got anime mixed with Western tones that kind of works with it. So it looks cool. There's some things that changed that you're like, I wish they hadn't done that, but for the most part, I did enjoy it though. I did like it as a whole, and I do hope they make more of it.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I feel like, to me, that it sort of embodies that Castlevania vibe, and perhaps a different way than the games. But the Castlevania has, to me, is one part Japanese anime, one part Hammer film. The sort of the monsters, but the more violent sort of version. So even though the anime is different, it does sort of achieve those two halves, even though it does it in kind of a different way, more extreme way, I guess you could say. But
it does.
Yeah. So I enjoy it. Matt, what about you? Have you seen the anime series? What do you think?
I have. I like it.
Yeah, for more or less the same reasons, you think?
I'm okay with the changes and everything, and it really seems to pick up after the first season. But I love that moment when they're in the church, and the demon comes in. He's like, I can't remember the exact line, but it's like, your God cannot save you now, or is it your God's no longer listening to you, or whatever. I just think that's a really well written, done moment.
That's a very miserable pile of secrets kind of line.
It is, but it's done so it's fun. I mean, it's
It had really good musical cues too. Sometimes the battles would happen, and then you'd hear something out of Castlevania or in Nocturne. You heard music from Dracula X, and it was this is cool. It had really well composed fight scenes that had musical cues that complemented the fighting that was happening very, very nicely.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, as we do when we do this show and we focus in on one game, my goal is for this episode to be the most exhaustive conversation about that game on YouTube. And I think we've probably achieved that today, at least in terms of Castlevania Rondo of Blood. So
go play it if you haven't.
Oh yeah. I mean, I there's most people that watch this, I would imagine, have played it. But if for some reason you're one of the weirdos who watch this whole thing and you get to this point and you have never played it, for God's sakes, go play
If you're
it.
still on the fence.
Treat yourself. Enjoy life.
As I always say on my channel, play Castlevania.
I mean, yes. Play them all. There's not like they're also there's major differences between them all, but I can't think of one Castlevania game that I truly don't like that I've played. You know what I mean? Like they all have their problems, I guess. You know, Castlevania, Lords of Shadow 2, you could argue is a little bit of a stinker in a lot of ways, but
Castlevania 64.
okay, yeah, fair enough. 64 is a little, yeah. But
Oh, you see, that's another game I'm a defender for. I love those games.
okay, fair enough.
Well, I mean, one of them was okay, and then one of them was Castlevania 6, the first game.
A little less than
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
A game.
Oh,
The
let me ask
first one, it's
Go
Jank City.
you, Matt Belmont, have you tried, what was that one that was online? It was like a co-op kind of thing.
Harmony of Despair. I
Yes.
think is what you're
That
referring
was a
to.
fun
Yeah,
one. What'd you think of that one?
I didn't mind it actually.
Okay.
It was definitely more fun with friends, obviously.
Right, yeah.
But even as a solo player, I didn't mind it.
Yeah, it's meant to be with friends for sure. But that's another one where it's like, not a lot of story. It's just you're getting together with friends and you're fighting Castlevania monsters together, and it's just fun. It's just good fun. I don't know if you can play that on modern platforms. I haven't really looked into it, but I played it on PS3, so back in the day.
I have the 360 version on my Xbox One over here.
Okay, so it's at least on that. But yeah, if there's a way for you to play that, I recommend that, especially if you like co-op stuff with friends and you just goof around and, attack stuff with Castlevania style gameplay. I mean, it's fun. And it just takes out it takes everything else out. It's just the fighting stuff part, basically. And so that's a fun one. But in any case, gentlemen, I appreciate you all for joining me for this. I've been looking forward to doing this one for a while. When I first envisioned this show, this was one of the first episode ideas that came to mind because there's so much to talk about. We've been talking about this for 3 hours. Can you believe it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
It was fun.
and I feel like we could probably go another hour if we really wanted to. At least there's just so much to talk about with this franchise and with this particular game where it was such a turning point, in a lot of ways for the genre, for the series, and for the medium, I would argue. And so I'm glad that we all came together and talked about it. Next episode of House of HuCards, I'm fairly positive is going to be a more visual one. It's going to be our cover art shootout.
Oh, that'll be fun to watch.
We're going to put our Western art and our Eastern art. And we're going to see which one's the best. I have some results that are going to go against what a lot of people think, because what I've been doing over the past year and a half, if you're a follower of my channel, you've seen my polls that I'll put up where I'll say, Bonk's Adventure, here's the Japanese, here's the American, which one's best? The results aren't always what you might think. The narrative is that PC Engine's always better. Well, watch the episode, we'll find out. But
I've voted in that several times.
yes, I know. And Ian is a big he has a lot of opinions on that, so I'm going to try to get him on that one for sure. But yeah, we'll see. I might have to make that a 4 or 5 person show because there's a lot of people that I'd love to have on that convo. But until then, obviously, make sure you check out Breakman X on his show, the game show. He brings on people that, he's just able to get them on, people that I can't get on my show. And it's a great show. They have a good time. They line up questions. They have great personalities on there. Fun show. Obviously, check out Sarumaru. His show is still going. Are you twice a week still, or are you doing once a week again?
Once a week.
Once a week, okay. So yeah, check out his show if you're up late enough. That's my only issue. If you're on the East Coast, it's if you're on the East Coast and you do stuff during the day, it's kind of hard.
You guys, yeah.
Now, sometimes a lot of times I catch it and I just don't comment because I'm so tired. I'm like falling asleep, and that's not obviously the show's entertaining.
Or you'll pop in and say hi.
Yeah, I'll pop in for a minute and then I'll die because it's like at 2 a.m. But not because of the show, of course. It's a super entertaining, fun show. A lot of audience interaction too, which is great. And of course, check out Mad Belmont on his channel. If you like Metroidvania and Castlevania to any extent, this is a guy, just give him a sub. It's an easy sub, all great content. Really appreciate you guys coming on the show. Really, just can't say how.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
obviously,
my pleasure. Thank you so much.
This
It was
is
a
the
lot of
dream
fun.
team for this topic, so I'm glad I was able to get it together and really pick your all's brains about this game, because it's so fun to talk about. And like I said, we could have gone another hour and a half, 2 hours easily.
Oh yeah, easy.
But out of respect for all of our lives and schedules and throats, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. But yeah, until next time, guys, thanks for watching.